We're gonna get things rolling. All right, let me
Absolutely.
turn that phone down. All
Oh
right.
yeah, this is good.
Okay. All right. So I think we're live everywhere now, so we can go ahead and get things rolling. All right. Another amazing night. On this beautiful planet. You know what I'm saying? This
Hmm.
third dimension transcending the fourth and fifth. You know what I'm saying? We're here. The Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. We are here to uplift humanity. In addition, we are here to um, assist in aiding the awakening of the melanated Willowhead beings that have been asleep for quite some time, but I'm very happy to say are starting to wake back up. You feel me? So this is the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. Here's what we do. My name, Muzosa Ankh Hat, aka Your Brozo. Y'all pretty much gave me that name. Um, and I'm here. Oh, echoing. Let's see. Yeah, I know why. I think I know
Some
why it's echoing. Yeah, it's echoing. I think it's Oh, and let me do. I'm gonna do this as well. I'm gonna put the in case it does echo because it does sometimes. I'll put the Streamyard link in on the other end. So y'all, if y'all want to go over to YouTube and watch it there, it's normally way better quality because it does be tripping sometimes you know, on um, on IG Live. So let
oh,
me see this real quick. Yeah, it does be tripping sometimes. So I'm gonna put this link in here real quick. Bear with me. So that way, there we go. I'm gonna put the link in here. If it's echoing too bad, just hop on over. All right. And of course, always, if you haven't, please follow, like, and subscribe. Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. And we always take support at the Cash App, PDR Corp, Polka Dot Rabbit Corporation. And that's it for me. You know what I'm saying? That's it for me. Oh, one more thing, please, if you haven't already, go to polka.rabbitpodcast.com and pick up my book, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. Now that's it. Now, I'm telling you, man, and I always say it is always an honor for me to have some student teachers of Dr. Malachi Z. York, Baba Yanun, on my platform, just because I know if they're talking to doctrine, they come in correct. You know what I'm saying? Um, so very happy to have this good brother here. And go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Tell him who you are, what you coming from, and all that good stuff, man.
all right, all right. Rahubet, Rahubet. Hey, I appreciate the intro, brother. Zamal. Yeah, my name is Huu Khanum, and man, I've been watching your podcast for a little bit, man. I love what you're doing. I love talking to the people, embracing and just bringing awareness to certain things. That's the key thing that we can really do. I think that most people in their hearts do find it to themselves to want to share information, whether that be right and exact or not actual facts. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Whatever
Hmm.
that may be. And so it's a real thing. But yeah, man, I'm Huu Khanum, just person that's been traveling my journey on my path about 8 years now. Basically, I started my journey. Oh, it's more than 8 years ago, but I started my journey when I first found Dr. Sebi. And even before Dr. Sebi, actually, now I'm thinking about it, it was like Bobby Hemmett was one of the people that inspired me, from where I was at, because I didn't really have much influence, black leaders or even figures to look to kind of like see, like, okay, I could find myself in the world. As we know, with just the programming of propaganda of other successful races, but not seeing someone that has dark skin that looks like yourself, what I'm saying, as an example to give you, what I'm saying, some sense of direction other than the media and what we can see is today, that's being propagated or promoted out there in the world. So back in around 2015, 14, 15, that's when I started to, what I'm saying, elevate, had my awakening in 2012, as I'm sure a lot of people did with that paradigm shift. I was like the Mayans, the world's about to end. I was going around telling people the world about to end. I was really on that type time because I was like, man, we all about to die. Because I was thinking about the calendar. I'm like, man, I did my research. The Mayans calendar ends at 2012, but not realizing that that was just a paradigm shift where a lot of people were going through that conscious change and elevation in mind. You feel what I'm saying? So I was really going through that time, and that I made so many changes in my life, from that period of time from 2012 up until 2015 and beyond. So boom, we go 2012 Mayan end of the calendar paradigm shift. Boom,
Mhm.
2015. Now I'm out here 2015. Now I'm doing a conscious shift in my eating. My
Mhm.
2012, I wasn't conscious when it comes to food, food
Yeah.
health and awareness. So, as I made that shift progressively, 2015, that's when I had another brain alert. You know what I'm saying? I had an explosion, DNA explosion, and now I'm coming with the information of what Dr. Sebi was teaching, which he was saying how you need to clear your body out. Mucus is the only disease, is what he was saying at that time. You need to clear all the mucus out of your body. You should be eating a plant-based diet because you're an electrical being. You know what I'm saying? And I'm having all this, breakthrough, and I do some research with some of the stuff that, Dr. Sebi was saying. I cleared my body out, bought all the herbs that he had. This time I was going to go to St. Lucia. Never made it to St. Lucia before, the passing of the great Dr. Sebi, but, oh, okay. Davo Major. Hey, appreciate. So yeah, so I never
No,
made.
that's my Haitian friend. She
Oh, okay,
she's
okay.
doing an inside joke. That's why she's laughing. But go ahead.
So I never made it to the Yusha village before the passing of the Dr. Sebi. Rest in power to that being. So I clear my body out, make transitions. I continue to progress in knowledge. In the between times of me figuring out about Dr. Sebi, that's when I studied and I really went through a paradigm shift of a lot of schools of thought in a short amount of time. So I went through the Hebrew Israelites. That was something I went through at a time. I went through the Moors. Brother named Asir the Ducateers was a person that inspired
Yeah.
me about the Moors.
Oh
Yep,
yeah. Good
Moors.
information, man. I love his channel, man. Love
Yeah,
his channel.
and he's great, man. Asir he's
Mhm.
underground a little bit too, but he's a real deal. I always salute to that brother for that Moorish information I got at that time. And then Bobby Hemmett, of course, you can't forget
Oh
about
yeah.
Bobby Hemmett. Bobby Hemmett, I found Bobby Hemmett around like 2014, 15. You know what I'm saying? And I bought his. I remember he had a website where you could purchase some of his DVDs, and I
Mhm.
purchased a couple of his DVDs. I used to play that program on my subconscious
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
And then Phil Valentine too. That's another brother. And then I embarked on a journey after I got that information, cleared my body out. I embarked on a journey where I was like, all right, now indigenous living and being in nature. And I embarked on that. Obviously, you and me will have another conversation about that on another
Mhm.
time. But that's something that I progressed with, what I'm saying, and went out to the tropics and, experienced a life 5 years in Central America, what I'm saying? So that all I say all that to say, that's just a little bit of my journey on my walk. I know we all come from different parts of the world. We all come from different backgrounds, different walks, different how we grew up over here, over there, and that's just a little bit of a piece of my journey as far as who I came. Oh, and let me just say I did find a video of Dr. Malachi York in the between times of Dr. Sebi and Bobby Hemmett. So from
Mhm.
2014 to 15, in between times. But I didn't know who Dr. Malachi York was at that time. It
Mhm.
wasn't until later to like where I'm at now to
Yeah.
where I really did a dive deep to find out what the Nuwapians was and the Sabians and the information that what I'm saying that's being kicked out here and really understanding like yo, damn near everybody that's excuse my language, but I'm saying
No.
just about anyone that's kicking information nowadays, it's coming from that kind of background. Not to discredit anyone else, of course. There's
Mhm.
other people that kick information, but I'm talking about like information that I've really actually fact checked.
Outformation.
Out
Outformation. Yeah.
what I'm saying? Affirmation, right? Things
Mhm.
that can fact check, things that can be like, don't believe me, check it out. Like that's
Mhm.
the kind of stuff that I feel like anybody that's teaching any kind of information should display because it's above any being. It's something that you
Mhm.
have to be like, all right, don't believe me, check it out, go find out for
Yeah.
yourself.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
but
because and then like we were talking earlier, I was around, man. You know what I'm saying? I saw Tamaray. I saw the glory. I saw, the rise. I saw, the greatness of that place and just having, to me, it always blew my mind just being like a quote unquote American and being able to go out in the middle of Georgia on a Saturday night or during the day, early evening, and just, you know, having 200, 300 Nubians just sitting there to learn, not out at the party, not
Yeah.
out acting crazy, but there with books in hands, just ready to learn, man. And everything you see was yourself, your language. It was, obvious. It was to me is the most amazing thing I've seen as long as I've been alive. And I love, I'm so grateful I was able to experience that. Um, so that's my master teacher. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Malachi York. I didn't know where I'd be without him. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. But yeah, man. So you talked about your personal life. Like, so how did go? I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Cause like kind of talking to person in your personal life. Were you like always inquisitive? You know what I'm saying? Were you always looking for the truth? You know what I'm saying? And how was your journey just to get to that first part of consciousness?
Yeah, man. I always had a search and a strive for knowledge, just wanting to absorb and research. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about me is that I'm always I'm a researcher, but I've also had like inspirations or moments of genius. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Where things would just come up. You know what I'm saying? Where I would think about things differently.
Yeah.
Even the
Yeah.
way I would go about doing things was different than the rest of the people that I was around. I guess you would call them my peers. I'm
Yeah.
not
Mhm.
they're personally my friends, but just the people I was around in my society, I was very inquisitive. You know what I'm saying? Always wondered like,
Mhm.
why is this have to be that? You know what I'm saying? Why do we call, you know what I'm saying, seven the number seven? Why, you know what I'm saying? I'm always asking these questions because
Mhm.
one thing about it is being force fed, you know what I'm saying, a spoonful of information from
Mhm.
people that not only don't look like you,
Yeah.
but also just doesn't information doesn't resonate with your soul. It doesn't resonate with,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
that internal compass that I have has
Mhm.
always been the navigation for me to really be able to test. It's kind of like people say they have those BS meters. Well,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have like an internal meter that kind of just allows me, not even kind of, it allows me to really, be inquisitive and want to know more, but also, you know, understand that me having that kind of mind makes me very
Mhm.
distinct from most
Mhm.
people in reality because
Yeah.
a lot of people are just drones and they're not
Yeah.
actually, they just give you a plate of food and I'm gonna eat it.
Mhm.
Those
Yeah.
type of
Yeah. 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 Or read a book and you're gonna read it, not even know what the content is in the book, and just ingest it, man. No, it's an interesting thing because a lot of us that got to this heights of information, we have very similar stories. You know what I mean? We have just the just that awakening, the DNA explosions, always knowing something was more, you know what I mean? And that's when you know the seeds were planted. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about earlier, we were talking about earlier, I said that the doc was like a giant mushroom head that, spit out spores, you know what I'm saying, of his of his little spores that just placed it all around the planet. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
just these teachers that we're here and we can feel it. You know what I'm saying? And we have to convey this good message. So to right the wrong, or as like he said, set the record straight. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
And the
Um,
information is didn't mean to cut you
no, no,
off.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, and I would say the yeah, man, I would say also it's like, yeah, just giving people, you know what I'm saying, understanding like if you feel unique, if you feel like you've always thought outside of the box, like that's a good trait, like good characteristics. Some people
Hmm.
actually go crazy for that because a lot of their quote unquote friends, you know what I'm saying, they just they can go along with the life
Yeah,
they're living because they don't ever ask any questions. And
yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's a lot, that's the biggest thing that we have to understand as unique individuals is that asking questions is one of the first steps to your journey on seeking
Hmm.
and finding information and knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I love the music. I mean, the music, the movie, The Matrix, so much because it's just the way they break it down. Because some people saying The Matrix is actually a documentary, not a movie, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm with you on that. You
Yeah.
know, um, just dealing with like the whole concept of programming. Like when I look at older people and the elders, like the elders have wisdom because they've heard and they've experienced it. You know what I'm saying? But they still been programmed from an older program, so it makes them like a, you know what I'm saying, like a representation of an older program.
Right.
And the more, you know what I'm saying, the more you get closer to the more younger they get, the less you're getting programmed by the older program. You know,
It's like
you know
this
what
is
I'm saying?
it's like this. It's like you have iPhones, right? And this is perfect
Yeah.
example for anyone that knows about iPhones. I don't know if this
Mhm.
works with Androids, but I've had iPhone for a long time. So what happens is you get iPhones. iPhones is like the physical vehicle. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's literally the hardware, right? Your body is your hardware. You understand?
Mhm.
And over time, over generations, you know what I'm saying, of times, just people being born over generation to generation, some
Mhm.
some hardware systems are just not compatible with the software
Yeah.
that's being
Exactly.
uploaded into the, you know what I'm saying, into the individual being.
Mhm.
So that's why you have younger generations that, are stuck in their ways, and then you have newer generations that are up to date. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's true.
and the thing about it is, I'm a firm believer, even not even believer. I never say believer. I say I'm a firm knower in the reality of how, the younger generation and the older generation are actually supposed to be sharing information. And the reason I say this is because the younger generation can not be up to date by not connecting to the older generation. And the same
Exactly.
thing can be said for the
Vice
for the
versa.
yep, yep,
Yeah. No, it's so true. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like even dealing like let's like dealing like religion, for example. It's like and we're dealing with religion. Even though when we're younger, we're given this concept of God or whatever the case may be. I don't care if it's Christianity, Islam, or whatever the case may be. You're at least given a concept of something more than yourself. You know what I'm
yep,
saying? And the older people like to hold on to the older programs that they were given, but it still laid a foundation for you to have some type of idea of what there's something more. And
mhm,
then it's interesting for me seeing like cats like you and like these younger cats, because it's like at a young age, you get it and you just grasp it and you just run with it. Like, yo, this is it. You know what I'm saying? This is it. This is, I can do my research. I'm gonna do my research to find out it and just get it and be able to in, internalize it and being able to teach, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the
yeah.
younger generation, man, y'all cats, man, y'all are coming hard with it, man. And we we older cats, we appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
Respect. Yeah, no, that's all part of it, man. It's that in you. It's either in you or it is not. That's one thing I'll say about that. Because
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what Baba said. He said this is a genetic doctrine. Like you, you, if you're not getting it, there's a reason why you're not getting it. You know what
right,
I'm saying? He was saying, when the people that's supposed to get it, just the way he talks and his voice, they'd be like, "Yo, who's that? Who's that talking on the tape?" You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he was made to do, that to bring, his seeds to to bring us together to get this information. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. To elevate,
you know what I'm
man.
saying?
Elevation.
Yeah. Elevation, that's it, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, we could talk all day about that. So
Yeah.
one of the main things we wanted to talk about and is just fast.
Mhm.
Sabian fast. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's do this real quick. Before, for the new people who don't know what Sabians are, don't know anything about that. Could you explain what a Sabian is? About the language. Just briefly, kind of. Just gloss over that for to best of your ability.
Absolutely. So basically, to understand what a Sabian is, a Sabian is just the root word of Saba in Sabian stands for star. You know what I'm saying? Sabians are star people. You know what I'm saying? We're star people that come from the stars, or what some people would be like extraterrestrial beings. In our bloodline, in our DNA, is extraterrestrial source. You feel what I'm saying? From other galaxies. Now, what we have to understand too is that what you're made of can be found in the outer space.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's actually for us to understand, because a lot of people I think have this misnomer or maybe just a miseducated understanding of what extraterrestrial, you know what I'm saying, type of
Mm-hmm.
thing would be. But to break it down, all the compounds, you know what I'm saying, all the elements that you're made of can actually be discovered and found outside of Taha, outside of Earth, in the outer realms, in the outer space. So that just goes to show, like, all right, there's no debate, and there's no, you don't even have to debunk that. It's just been, you know what I'm saying, that's the facts right there.
Yeah.
And now, Sabians, you know what I'm saying, Saba meaning star, you know what I'm saying, and then beings, star
Mm-hmm.
beings, beings, you know what I'm saying. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what we are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what was the second part to that question?
No, 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 you could just explain more because and also the language that comes along with
Yeah.
being. Yeah, could you talk about that, please?
Yeah, the language. So, as I stated when I first, introduced myself, one of the things I said was rahubet, rahubat, and this is a tonal voice or a tonal language similar to Arabic. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Arabic language or Hebraic language. This is just a traditional language that our beings, the new beings or the beings that what I'm saying, are our ancestors that existed here before the colonization and the indoctrination and even the domestication of our people had
Mhm.
a native tongue to a native
Mhm.
land
Mhm.
in Africa, as they say,
Mhm.
Africa or Africa, as some people like to kill it, or El Kibalan, as they talk about
Mhm.
it in the book that Dr. Ben was talking about. So in our actual where we come from, that we had a language, and that language was known as what we say is Sabbatic language, or they Wu-Nuwapic language is the new terms that we give it now. This
Mhm.
came from a place called Napata, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm. Mhm.
in Africa. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
These were dark skinned beings like us. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
that we can go into that too, because we know that eventually we were green and then we
Yeah, yeah.
oxidation of skin. Yeah.
And I know some people be like, "Oh, Dr. York just making language," and it's interesting because when you look at when you look at the books and the breakdown he gave, you see the glyphs, the same glyphs they're talking there. You see in the temples of Ethiopia,
Yeah.
ancient Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like oh, you just made stuff up. No, this is actual fact. This is you can see it. I mean, I remember even back in the day when we were speaking Nawapic, like linguists are like European language is like, oh yeah, this is a real language. You know what I'm saying? So, you
Yeah.
know, you know, but okay, that's cool. So, how does the fast actually talk about the fast as as much as you can in your detail? How as much information and why we should be fasting at this time frame.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. The fast is very important, and let me just pull up some things. Yeah, because the fast, man, like a lot of people, and I just want to state this too. A lot of people, um, they don't. We did just people think about it. You're eating, um, you're eating 7 days out the week. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
365 days out a year. A lot of
Mhm.
people. I mean, I don't even know how people do it, but a lot of people are eating, 3 meals a day, and then
Mhm.
snacks in between.
Mhm.
It's just overconsumption
Yeah. Yeah.
of what I'm saying, of the body. So what happens is, when you are over consuming food, your body doesn't get a chance to actually break. You know what I'm saying? Have a break. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You need a break. Just like you use your phone too much, eventually it's gonna get too hot and you're gonna have to shut
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything can have a malfunction, or anything can shut down if it's just being overworked or overused. So your
Yeah.
body is like an organic device. It's like an organic computer. And
Mhm.
when you're putting that information in your body, you have what is known as the gut. Some people call it the
Mhm.
birth brain. And
Mhm.
the reason why they call that the gut, brain, is because what it does is it actually looks like a brain when you look at it through an actual scan, a radio scan.
Mhm.
You can
Mhm.
see what it looks like on the inside. So it does look like a brain and resemble it, which is one of the reasons why they call it the first brain.
Mhm.
But also, it's actually digesting and breaking down information, and the food that's digesting in your gut affects your neurochemistry. It affects your brain. It affects
Mhm.
the way that you think. You feel what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
So when you're eating Taco Bell, Twinkies, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and waffles on a regular
Mhm.
basis, which is just toxic food for your body,
Yeah. Yeah.
that toxic food for your body, that it makes your body toxic, it also makes, what I'm saying, the messages that get sent to your brain toxic, meaning that you'll have a toxic biochemistry neurochemistry within the brain, where now you're releasing hormones that are making
Mhm.
you literally act outside of self, outside of
Mhm.
yourself. They stay outside of
Mhm.
your mind. You're
Mhm.
literally acting outside of your mind because you're
Mhm.
processing information. Now, this happens through exchange of microRNAs, which is the information that gets sent to the vagus nerve. The
Mhm.
vagus nerve is a nerve, and it's a nerve and part of your nervous system that goes all the way from the gut all the way to the top of your brain, connects to the
Mm.
cerebellum, and then it sends out information. From there, it sends out information throughout all the organs through your endocrine system, to the lungs, to the liver. Is literally connected like a network of wires. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Your body. So as you're receiving this information from the food, which is microRNAs, that microRNA information is being translated and read by your body, being an organic computer, and is being processed. And this information gets processed through these organs that are in your body, and then it also gets processed by the brain. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what happens is the small information that gets sent to the brain, it travels up through white blood cells. And these white
Mm-hmm.
blood cells float to the top, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
of your
Yeah.
body, and then they go into the brain, and then that's where your brain starts to, it will literally, the serotonin, epinephrine, melatonin,
Mm-hmm.
these hormones that are in your brain to release certain chemical hormones for you to think in a certain kind of way. You feel what I'm saying, or
Mm-hmm.
down when you're sleeping. So, um, just to make a long story short, it's very important that we understand, what I'm saying, what we're putting in our body. Now there's many different reasons why we're doing this this fast, this purification liquid ritual fast. There's
Mm-hmm.
many,
Mm-hmm.
but one of the mains that I like to target in on is that. Another point I want to bring up though is that when you fast, this allows your body to make a direct connection, or you to make a direct connection with your soul, your oversoul, your internal being, the voice that's inside of your head, that being that we connect to, that being, the oversoul that we connect to, that right there, we make connection with that when we start to fast, when we start to meditate, when we start to chant, we start to speak the language, we actually start tapping into this. But the problem is when you're chanting on a full stomach, when you're trying to receive information,
Mm.
food on a full stomach, you know what I'm saying, when you're eating, and mind
Blockage.
blockage. And mind you,
Mm-hmm.
this food, some of this food we eating, especially if you're a meat eater, this stuff doesn't digest out your system or even get out of your system for, what I'm saying, a long period of time. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
3 or 4 days, depending on what you got going on internally. So it's important for us to understand this, the communication between our gut and our brain, and
Mm-hmm.
then understand the connection between our brain and the etheric brain, which connects to the etheric cord, which connects to your soul. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the mental
Yeah.
reservoir, which we know,
Mm-hmm.
and we know, for anyone that wants to know any more about that, you can, what I'm saying, we got scrolls for that. But we got, what I'm saying, this is all the science, what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
um,
It's information that you glaze over because you've been brought up in this society in which they don't care nothing about any of that, and all they do is give you a ass backwards food pyramid in which nothing in this in this whole system is nothing here regardless, just to poison you anyway. So, and you talk to something, you keep on talking about something very important, and it's like culture, 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 culture. You know what I mean? Because if you're not a part of a culture, like, even I don't care if you're a Hebrew, Islam, and Hindu, these individuals have culture, so they do things a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's so. Could you kind of talk about what the importance of culture, and how this specific culture will assist us as Nubians and melanated beings, non-ether beings?
absolutely. So culture is the most important thing. One thing I'll say about culture is that we have adopted a culture, which is not even our culture. We have adopted a way of life that we have deemed worthy of culture in modern day society. I hear people talk about it all the time. They say, "Oh yeah, I'm stepping on my hood, it's the hood," cuz, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone claiming a set, everyone claiming a, what I'm saying, block, everyone claiming a district, you know what I'm saying? We don't even own them, right? We don't. Let's put that in perspective. We don't own these. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that we own, you know what I'm saying, is, what I'm saying, our ourselves. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to understand that when we're talking about culture, we can't adopt the circumstances in which we were brought up in as a culture. A lot of
Hmm.
people would say, well, that's just the hood, it's my culture. No,
Hmm.
that's where you're from. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? The
yeah,
circumstances that you were brought up in, but that's not your culture. You know
yeah.
what I'm
That's
saying?
not your culture. Yeah.
And that's the thing that a lot of people so they don't understand how to disassociate the fact that I may have been raised or grown up in a specific environment. No matter where you are, it's not even just the hood. We got black people all over this earth. You understand me? Like,
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we got people in the UK, Africa, Australia. We got people all over the globe, right? So
Mhm.
no matter where you were, brought up, we have to be able to disassociate ourselves from the colonization, the current, because there's really no, if it's very slim to anything left of our culture when it comes to indigenous people that are living in certain lands. You feel what I'm saying? Because most
Mhm.
people have been
Mhm.
colonized. We've definitely been colonized mentally, you know what I'm saying, from where we're at. So what this
Mhm.
culture specifically brings is and just anything like this, anything that is bringing this information, because I'm still studying, so I don't know what else is out there that people may, what I'm saying, be teaching them. But what I'm saying is that anything that's bringing information, that's connecting us to root, anything that's bringing information to connect us to the root of who we are prior to colonization. I'm talking about language. That's a
Mhm.
part of culture. Culture shapes reality. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
in the culture shapes your reality because it's your perception. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
music, that's a part of culture. Art,
Mhm.
that's a part of culture.
Mhm.
Food, that's a part of your
Mhm.
culture. You know what I'm saying?
Dance.
Dance.
Mhm.
Dance is
Mhm.
definitely a part of your culture. So
Mhm.
through these attributes, we can actually distinguish where people are from. If they got a little
Mhm.
reggaeton, we already know. Hey, you know what I'm saying? If they got a little Spanglish, you know what I'm saying? Spanglish to them, we know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We can definitely distinguish where people have come from, or at least where they were grown up on, based off looking at culture. The thing that's very important for us is that we have to get out of the mind, get out of their mind, and get into
Yeah,
our
yeah.
own mind,
On
because
mine. Mhm.
we have adopted the mind state of people
Mhm.
that have colonized us. So we think that, okay, growing up, McDonald's that's just what it is. That's what
Yeah.
it's around my corner. What you mean? That's a part of my culture. Well,
Mhm.
McDonald's was not a thing that our ancestors ate. So how is that
Mhm.
a part of our culture? You know what I'm saying? And we have to understand that, these are things that are being pushed in the environment that we're in, but it's not our culture, and it's not something
Mhm.
that we should promote amongst our people, which is why it's so important. Even when Malcolm was speaking, Malcolm, this is the differences, and even on the deathbed of Martin Luther King, he says, I believe I have integrated my people into a burning building. And if you
Mhm.
were to, dissect that, or just look between the lines of what Martin Luther King was saying, he was saying that, I've integrated my people into a society that's already falling. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
What you could say, Malcolm X was teaching at that time, or even if you were talking about Marcus Garvey, say, hey, let's get our people, you know what I'm saying, and then move and create an environment. An
Mhm.
environment is like the culture medium. For anyone that's a
Mhm.
biologist, they know that the cells are controlled by the environment that they're in. It's funny because it's actually in biology, it's called a culture medium. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
A culture medium is what shapes and, what I'm saying, controls the cell and the outcome of the cell, and even the behavior of the cell. So if you look at our people, our behavioral patterns are a direct reflection of our circumstances in this culture, if you want to
Yeah.
call it culture. But
Yeah.
we can see that America is a conglomerate of many different cultures mixed and matched, trading like Pokemon cards.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And there's no substance to it. There's no
Mhm.
originality to it. So for
Mhm.
us as melanated Nubian people, melanines or melanites, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
What we should be doing is we should be associating ourselves with our origin story, because
Mhm.
every being has an origin story.
Mhm.
And we have to tap into our origin story to understand and understand who we are, where we come from, why we're here, and what we should do next.
I'm gonna tell you, man. Like, and I remember when I first read the book. First, let's set the record straight. And Doc was talking about the Yamasee Native Americans. He started going there, and that's when he started teaching about Chief Black Eagle, and and I was like, wow, that it was really interesting, but I never really jumped into it. You know what I mean? To really, but some of the, like, as you see some of the other people in this podcast that come on, they've been schooling me about this, and I'm saying all this because it's amazing because a lot of these individuals, even today, because we're dealing with culture, we had a culture here as Native American, well, American Indians. You know what I'm saying? A culture, language, all of that. And just like you talking about now, that was all wiped out. And now we have this fake culture They had to purposely wipe out that. I'm not even talking about Africa, anything else. I'm talking about here in the United States.
In the United States.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's absolutely it's mind blowing how much how much they hid history. You know what I'm saying? And threw it away. And it's interesting now because you see the veil unfolding, and now you're like, oh, that's why so and so this, and you start to connect the dots. You know, so well, Bible was pretty much did it for us, but you start to connect the dots to see, you know what I'm saying, our origins and our origin story and where it goes to. Even dealing with, like I got the shirt on, with an Olmec on it. Even like I travel, you know what I'm saying? I went to Teotihuacan. I've seen Chichen Itza. I've seen these Olmecian statues that, I've seen the people on the walls looking like me and you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you never would have thought, you know what I'm saying? You never would have thought that that was the case because it's been hidden so bad. You know what I'm saying?
And they do anything and everything to make sure that we don't have, and this is the part of the tactic that we have to understand,
Hmm.
that our rise, part of our rise, I'm not going to say the whole of it, but I'll say a part of our rise comes from that boost of confidence and knowing who. I'll say it like this. Yeah, it is our rise. Our rise is the confidence in knowing who we are. It's a part of it
Yeah, yeah,
is understanding the writings on the walls. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
exactly,
That's
exactly.
what it is. We have to be able to look and see and identify with ourselves. We want to see why are other races in other countries so successful, or when they come here in America, why they're so successful. One of the reasons is because they have an identity. They have been
Yeah.
able to identify who they are, where they came from, and then
Hmm.
have a specific background that's given them a backbone to be able to stand up
Hmm.
right and be like, I'm this, I'm Chinese, or I'm Mongoloid, I
Yeah.
come from here, this is my
Hmm.
background, these are my
Hmm.
people, bam. And what we
Hmm.
have to do is what, and this is why, I'm saying I love, what the master teacher did and other beings that ever came through, I'm saying what, doing certain things is that, hey, listen, I'm not looking for you to tell me who I am. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you who I am. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Exactly.
Like
Hmm.
having all these scholars out here, what I'm saying, preferably like, I say European scholars, people that are out here trying to do, what I'm saying, the archaeological, what I'm saying, research for us is not
Yeah.
doing any good
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
on the other side. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying in any sense of like no one wins the race and racism. So I'm not saying that. But what
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
saying is that we need to have our own scholars, our own people that are doing these kinds of research, much like we're having now in the awakening, or
Hmm.
in the awakening, to be able to go do this kind of research and be able to have people that are giving narratives that look like us about who we
Hmm.
are, even from, like you're saying, from here in America, from over there in El Kibalan or
Hmm.
Africa, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
All
Having
over all over the planet.
all over the planet, man.
Yeah.
So, that's
Yeah.
that's
That's that. No, that's so true, man. That's so true, and I think that's you know, it is another thing just to piggyback on what you're saying. It's like, why would you go to somewhere? Why would you go to somewhere else to get your story when you got your elders and you got your ancient elders that carved it in stone this information, and you can read and get that information. You know what I'm saying? That's I remember Bobby Hemmett one time he was talking about that. He was just like, yo, they foresaw the age of this downfall coming. Our ancestors did. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know what I'm saying? And they foresaw that. You know what I'm saying? And so they were just like, yo, we got to write down all this stuff as much as we can in stone. You know what I'm saying? For once our children go to sleep, they have some type of reference. You know what I'm saying? Of who we were and where we came from.
mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely, and that's the most important thing, is to be able to, what I'm saying, to have that kind of, man. That's what I'm telling you. Even when she said, your culture goes back further than 6,000 years.
hmm
Some of us can truly say we have 2 million years old history that's not been told.
that
That's
yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
What's not been
Actual
told.
facts. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's
Like
actual facts.
we gotta tell our story, because no one's gonna tell it for us. And that's the
Hmm.
thing, is that
Hmm.
the what is it they say, the strangest secret, right? One of the
Yeah.
strangest secrets is the fact that, what I'm saying, we have all this history, all this stuff that's either been misrepresented, what I'm saying,
Hmm.
by people that weren't us, what I'm saying, or it just hasn't been told. Because once we connect the dots, like we said, the DNA explosion, we have to understand that
Yeah.
we have something called ancestral memory.
Yeah.
Ancestral memory is memory that's been passed down through genetic. It's genetic information that's been passed down. It's in your bloodline. And
Mm-hmm.
when you start to read certain information, when you start to look at certain symbols and certain signs, what it does is it starts to resonate with you on a level with something called your morphic resonance. A morphic resonance is the resonance of an entity or a thing from its beginning in time. You feel what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
So at the beginning of our ancestral lineage, when we first step foot, you know what I'm saying, and we're here,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, from our origins,
Mm-hmm.
that right there, it resonates with us. So when we hear certain saying like Anuki Jawef Papa Ut, Wu Papa Ut, when we hear
Mm-hmm.
that right
Out of
there,
the love of the all.
you know what I'm saying? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. It resonates with us where we are hearing those
Yeah.
ringtones now it's starting to resonate and activate, DNA explosions because it's creating new neurological pathways. Remember,
Yeah. Yeah.
the information is in your blood. It's the spirit
Yeah.
of information is in your blood. It's in your bloodline, even though you have a new device. So the information gets passed down, you know what I'm saying, through generation, and it's in the mental reservoir. And we tap into it once we start to vibrate on a certain octave, you know what I'm saying, when we tap into a frequency, which is why the master teacher said that the language is the most important thing. Because once you start to tap into the language and you
Yeah.
start to speak the language, you start to
Mm-hmm.
think like the beings that spoke that language.
I think it's interesting. They say Malik here says you awaken what sleep within you. Boy, if that ain't the truth, boy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing that the whole time these questions as a child, you like, you looking at the stars and like, man, why does those three stars look so familiar? Or, you go to see something on Egypt, you're like, and it's intriguing. Or you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because the soul knows all this, but the avatar itself, and they need to connect. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what you're saying. The culture, the language, the culture, and everything that comes along with the doctrine that this information is given to us, it all connects us so we can completely become awakened. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful. See, people don't understand, man. It's a beautiful. People want to all be with the fear mongering, all that stuff. Like when they had the COVID stuff, all this kind of crazy stuff, and there's a reason why they're doing all crazy stuff because they know the time is up. Number one, you know what I'm saying, and they know what's happening with the transitions that's happening with us. And I'm gonna I'm gonna transition into this question. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely, absolutely.
Melanin, okay, the
Mm-hmm.
sun, okay. Could you kind of break down the effects of today? Because they say the sun is doing the craziest thing. They said the sun is finally starting to actually start to wake up. It's like it's been dormant, just sitting there like kind of chilling. Um, this day and time, what are the effects that these solar flares and etc. have on melanated beings?
Well, definitely, man. It's the sun is activating right now. We're going through different transitions, you know what I'm saying, of cycles of the sun. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? There are different transitions that are happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening is the activation in the solar flares that are being sent out right
Mm-hmm.
now are activating certain beings here on this earth. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm.
That are starting to tap in. So, as we know with melanin is a super semiconductor. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's able to harness and transmit the information that comes from the sun. But not only that, but what they don't tell you is that you have an internal sun. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In
Mm-hmm.
Latin, the word for sun is sol, SOL. But see, what they did is they put a U in it. And when they put the U in the word soul, it changed, you know what I'm saying, the definition of what they wanted to give it. So that's why they say, soul, as in like, oh, a soul versus the soul, which is the sun, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, which is where we have to understand, you know what I'm saying, what our connection is. So our internal sun connects with the sun out there. You know what I'm saying? Our soul, which is the internal sun, which is the solar plexus, connects with the sun in the sky or the sun that's out there. And when these rays hit us, it activates, you know what I'm saying? It activates and our sun starts to resonate and starts to change with the sun out there. And that's where we start to
Mm-hmm.
activate the DNA. That's where we
Mm-hmm.
start to activate the different behavioral patterns that are happening right now because
Mm-hmm.
we're transiting with the planetary alignments, when we're transiting with the solar, flares that are happening, it will start to change our behavior. Will start, but it's only for those that are in tune, mind you.
Yeah.
This is another
Yeah.
reason why we're doing the solstice fast.
Fast. Mm-hmm.
We're doing the summer solstice fast because at the solstice fast, at the winter solstice and the summer solstice, activities happening. You know what type of activities happen? Energy activity, doing with the sun. And when we are fasting for these 9 days, what we're doing is we're actually like in when Baba's videos where he was talking about the visualization,
Yeah.
visualize energy coming towards you, and
Yeah.
it loves you and it's reaching out to you, and you want to. That's the energy of the sun, the rays of the sun, and we're harnessing those rays of the sun and the energy of the sun throughout these 9 days to be able to activate, transform, and then internalize what we have received, because it's a message that's being received. But the
Yeah.
only way to communicate with that is to stop the what's going on down here in the gut, because your first brain is trying to digest food, and while it's trying to digest food, it's like bouncing a basketball, playing with your phone, and then trying to have a conversation with someone at the same time. You
Yeah.
ain't gonna get a clear
Yeah.
communication of what that person is trying to say to
Trying to
you
convey to you. Yeah.
when you have a basketball and your phone in your hand and you're not paying attention.
So you
So,
mean you mean to tell me that I need to stop eating during the summer solstice? I need to stop eating my chitlin tacos and starting fasting. Is that what you're telling me?
man, if you eating shit and tacos, man, I don't know if it's helpful. No, I'm just kidding.
Might
Hey,
be,
I don't know
it
what I
might
can
be
do
that
for
it
you.
might be too late for me.
I don't even know, man. At that point, you might need to go seek some extra help, man. I ain't got that for you. Go seek a doctor or something like that, man. I don't know.
I know, right? Good crazy. Oh, man,
Nah,
chitlin
nah.
taco boy.
But no,
Oh
you're right.
man.
Yeah, you're right, man. During this fast, man, you gotta have discipline. And what this discipline does is it really helps us. It helps us ignite so much more, because it is the communication with the sun, as we're talking about, and the solstice,
Hmm.
and what's happening, you know what I'm saying, with the planetary alignment. But even outside of that, it's also the direct connection that we're having with our reality, because
Yeah.
when you're fasting from these things, mind you, food is not the only things we're fasting from this fast. We're also fasting from abstaining from sex. A lot of
Hmm.
people are ejaculating too much, and you just bang, bang,
Hmm.
bang, bang, bang. You just, what
Yeah.
I'm saying, you have too much sex, my dude.
It's not
And
made for that. Yeah.
it's not we yeah, exactly. It's not made for that. Where, what I'm saying, there's a functionality for everything,
Yeah.
and it's not to say we can't, do it at specific times, because of course sometimes you need to know how to do it, when to do it, why to do it, and all of the above. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, we're fasting from that. We're also fasting from, the fighting, because, just as well as I know, people of our color, melanated Nagaros, yo, we can get it popping. It's an argument. It's a fight. It's
Hmm.
just, I'm saying, every week we talking, bad about somebody, or
Hmm.
whatever,
Arguing.
arguing. And it's like that right there is keeping us at a certain frequency. Notice
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
in the media and the entertainment industry, notice how they promoted a lot of these drama, what I'm saying,
Reality shows, some crazy shows.
reality shows, and
Yeah.
all the reality shows is either Kim Kardashian yelling at someone. You got the show with what's that other dude, Blueface, he out here with his baby mom showing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not what we need to be
Yeah.
representation.
Yeah.
So that kind of imagery is getting put into the household, and we having fights on a daily basis. You feel what I'm saying? And that's affected. Not only are we fasting from the fights, but we're also fasting from other physical activity, because a lot of people are working these jobs, or
Hmm.
the new thing nowadays is, to get in the gym and work out. I mean, not everyone's doing it, but a lot of people are. And sometimes you need to let your body rest. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Being still. There's an actual key, what I'm saying, mastery to actually letting your body be still at certain times, and that's one thing that we have to do as well. On top of that, another one is, with the alcohol consumption. I don't consume alcohol. I don't consume
Hmm.
wine, but a
Hmm.
lot of some people do. They have their little
Yeah.
fixes, be
Hmm.
that little drugs. Hey, they do what you do. I'm not here to be the police about that. But what I
Hmm.
will say is that if you are doing it during these times, these are spiritual times. These are ritual times that our
Yeah. Yeah.
ancestors practice certain things, and
Hmm.
this is the importance of not being out of tune with your culture.
Hmm.
If you're out of tune with your culture, you're out of tune with the cosmos, and you're out of
Yeah.
tune with the universe, and you're out of tune with the omniverse. It's a trickle
Hmm.
down effect of everything
Yeah.
from above, so below, as within, so
Hmm.
without. So this
Hmm.
ritualistic fast is to align us. We're aligning ourselves, what I'm saying, with the
Hmm.
energies that are being brought in at this specific time for us to be able to utilize and benefit from, you know.
Yeah, that is a good point. Oh, that's the good brother. Let's see. Well, he was just saying the summer solstice. You need to stop eating sugar. Sugar crystals your brain, just like liquor does in American American Indians. And it's like all of this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is things that we need to, Oh yeah, Seth. Sorry, Seth. he said, Seth, don't forget me. Seth, yeah, Seth, we're gonna have to get you back on here soon, man. But again, soon. And anyway, another thing, Seth, I did holler at old girl, so I'm gonna be talking to you soon. But anyway, so yeah, man, just again, this all still goes back to culture and having a meaning. Even going back to you talking about having sex, because I remember the good brother Mental Hotep. I remember. I'm sure he got this from Baba. He was just saying like back in the day, you had to abstain for sex for a certain specific time. Not only did you have to have back in the day, they used to pair you up with specific genetics. Your mate would be specific genetically. It would be genetically compatible, but
Yeah,
also it'd be a specific time frame, and you had to abstain for sex so you could have the most out of your ejaculation when you try to copulate. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
everything. That's what I'm saying. People just talking about sex, and no, man. In our culture, in the science, in our culture, there's a reason for everything. And
Yes,
there's no just fly by nothing. No, 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 no. This you're talking about something that's been set for us as guidelines, literally since the time we've been walking upright. You know what I'm saying? And even in the waters. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get technical, but you know what I'm
yeah.
saying. So
Now you're right, and it's like and another thing too is the reason for that is because we have, you know what I'm saying, everyone has, different energy types as far as when you portal in here and when you first, came here
yeah.
on Earth. As far as
Hmm.
your being, you know what I'm saying, there's specific times that is good for you as an individual where you do have, and that's where it ties into circadian rhythm, which is one thing I
Yeah.
want to talk about as well,
Yeah. Go
is that
ahead.
a lot of people are so disconnected, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
from the natural circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm, it regulates a multitude of things. It
Hmm.
regulates digestive times, certain digestive times, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
When you digest food in the body, it regulates sleep patterns, serotonin,
Hmm.
melatonin levels. Um,
Hmm.
it regulates the sharpest times for you to think. It regulates best times to work out. You actually have flows, what they call is energy flows or focus flows. I think it was where you have 4 times throughout the day where you have a real good time where you can get a lot done in a short amount of time, where your mind is most focused. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
this operates on the dial of the circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm, if you look at it, if you look at it up, you can see what it looks like. It resembles
Hmm.
a clock. Actually, if I get into the back of this book, that's funny because I have this book pulled up. Oh, right here. Yeah, it shows you, you know what I'm saying, what the circadian rhythm looks like. You feel what I'm saying? You
Yeah. Yeah.
see all the
Yeah.
different things that's actually regulated. You know what I'm saying? This is a neuroscience of Wu-Nuwapu.
Yeah, I got it. I remember seeing it. I got that book too. I need to go look at that again.
Man, that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. And like I was finding out about circadian rhythm. Let's just go deeper into it here. But I
Yeah.
remember finding circadian rhythm out when I was studying with Dr. Sebi, because he was talking about, you know what I'm saying, how we're supposed to eat at certain times. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
When you research, good best times to eat, one of the things that's going to pop up is the circadian rhythm. Now, one thing I do want to bring up about the circadian rhythm as well is that when you're connected to the earth, and this is a book y'all can get, because where did I put that book? Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is another book that y'all can get. Um, it's called Earthing, and what this book is going to break down to you is going to break down to you about the connection between the human body, which is a transmitter of information,
Yeah.
and Earth, because Earth
Mm.
is like the motherboard. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Grid. It's a
Yeah.
little
Yeah. Yeah.
grid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what happens is through the geomagnetic waves of the Earth, the
Mm.
geomagnetic waves of the Earth are sending out frequencies it's called telluric energy, and it's
Mm.
sending out frequencies from the center of the earth, which is actually a sun itself. There's a sun
Mm.
inside of the earth. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's a sun in you, there's a sun up there, and then there's a sun
Mm.
in the center of the
On
earth.
Earth. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all three of these suns are communicating with each other. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
and we have to understand that the geomagnetic energies that are being sent from the center of the earth are connecting and actually communicating with the sun out there. So when signals are being sent from the sun down there, there's a geomagnetic energy that's connecting and sending signals, and then it's changing the frequency of the earth. It's changing, you know what I'm saying, the frequency of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So you have, that's why you seasons start to change. That's why you see the poles now are shifting. That's why the ice caps are melting, as we see the solar flares are happening, and the solar flares that are happening up above is now sending something, a frequency down here that's affecting the earth, you know what I'm saying? And now it's affecting what now the earth being like the culture medium that the cells of the earth would be existing on, which would be whatever animal species, you know what I'm saying? We would be like microscopic cells on the earth, right? We are being affected by what's
affected
happening.
by it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all a cycle of how everything is communicating with each other in some form.
And being natural to the earth, it has a different how do you, the natural components of the earth that it yielded, you know what I'm saying? They're
Right.
going to be affected differently than the unnatural inhabitants. I just better like a better word that have been put on the earth,
Yeah.
because yeah, and you can see that by people going insane, by people, oh, somebody wants to know the name of the book again. Could you put it up again?
Got you, got you, got you.
Oh, that's Michelle. That's my first yoga teacher. Hey,
Oh, wow.
Michelle, how you doing?
Book is called here. It's Neuroscience of Wu-Nuwapu.
Oh, she's talking about the earthing, I think. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
the
I
earth,
think that
my
she's talking
bad.
about the earthing one too. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that's
No,
what she thinks.
yeah, the earthing book right here is called Earthing. It's called Earthing. I don't know if you can see it right here. You can get this. It's literally called Earthing. If you just type in Earthing book online, and here's the author right here. I think you can see it.
Oh, she said both. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you just type that in online, and you'll be able to. It's about a good like 300 plus pages, but it's a good book. I'm reading it right now. I just got it a couple days ago. This is actually a book that was created off a documentary that someone had did about grounding and grounding
Grounding, yeah.
grounding to the
Oh,
earth.
that was like the sequel to Grounding, the Earthing. Ah, I see.
It's the side, and
Gotcha.
the guy, I forgot his name. There's another guy that talks about it too. His name is David Wolf, where he was talking about how your cells, and this actually goes into the fasting, is how your cells. A lot of people don't have a connection to the earth because your shoes are rubber. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
rubber
yeah.
is
I was just
disconnecting.
watching some of that.
Yeah, it's disconnecting you from the earth, so you're not connected to the grid. And if you're not
Hmm.
connected to the grid, you're not receiving some of the updates that these animals are receiving when it's time to fly south, or they have a
Hmm.
magnetoreceptor. The magnetoreceptor is what's communicating and being able to pick up information, transmissions of information that's getting sent from the natural environment. But when you're inside a house on the
Yeah,
third floor and
yeah.
you're not connected to the earth, you ain't gonna pick up nothing from
Nothing.
nobody. You
Yeah,
can barely get a text on the third floor. You out here
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah,
see
yeah,
signals. So what you think you're gonna pick up from nature? You know what I'm saying? So it's like we got to understand this. Not to mention, like, another thing I want to touch on too is we have
yeah.
to be very careful about these Wi-Fi's and these
Yeah.
5Gs. If you guys are sleeping at nighttime, I recommend that you guys turn your phone on airplane mode or just shut the whole thing off, because you're picking up magnetic frequencies, radio frequencies that are being sent from this phone to communicate with the tower. And what that's doing is creating a network. It's funny how they call it a network. It's
Hmm.
literally creating a net over your house
Hmm.
that's connecting, to these towers. And what that's doing is it's actually making it very difficult for beings to astral travel and be able to communicate and go to other realms in the realm sleep. When you're in a realm
Yeah.
sleep and you're traveling in your etheric body, that's why they set these Wi-Fi's up. That's why they have the telephone poles up. That's why they have these 5G, networks up, is because these frequencies are strong enough to trap your etheric body and not allow you to travel other dimensions.
Transcend. Yeah.
That means why a lot of people's there, where y'all dreams at? Most people's dreams are here on earth. I remember when I was in
Hmm.
the tropics and I had dreams, I was dreaming like I was in another, on
Yeah.
another,
Yeah. 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 You were
you know,
gone, boy. Yep.
that's what I'm trying to
Yep.
say. So that's a very key, and I'll let you, but that's what I'm saying. That's a very key that we have to understand, is that these. That's why I say, if you guys are in cities, I recommend, especially because the times are coming, I recommend that everyone get familiar with nature, start
Yeah.
stepping outside with nature, do some research, do some studies, get a book about natural foods that grow in nature, what these trees look like. Everything that you eat, you should know what it looks like in nature. We need to get to a point to where we have a familiarity with nature, to the point where if we had to go out into nature and live in nature and be organic, not saying we have to be all primitive and primal, but what I'm saying is
Nah.
just given like integration. A lot of people haven't still, we're not integrating, we're building
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, it still go back to culture, and like the Seth was saying, that's why you need to grow your own food. You can grow, you can grow even your food, but you have to you own your land. And see, and I was looking at a post that RFG Chosen said today, right?
Yeah,
And he was just like, and I don't mind talking about this because I hear other people, I hear Dabu Seven talk about this stuff, but talk
yeah.
about how and in the very near future, they fitting to cut everybody off of this whole grid altogether. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking to Nick. They talking about they trying to cut the lights out, yo. Like, and they telling you about it. I mean, because they always tell you exactly. That one guy, Charles Schwab, whatever his name, he's talking about, the cyber time. It's going down.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another meme once, and they said something. It said our ancestors were rich. They own their own land. They grow their food. Yo, that's the only way that you're going to survive this. Everything you were just talking about
Mm-hmm.
living on an apartment, all that kind of stuff. Just imagine, you know what I'm saying? The stuff in these cities are going to happen. If the electricity went out for 5 days.
I'm telling you, man,
You know what I'm saying?
and this the kind of and think about this too. A lot of most people are not in their right minds. Man, granted,
Exactly.
we do know. Imagine know what we do know, right? We understand about the 30 spirits or the 29
Yeah.
spirits,
29. Mm-hmm.
and how people are living their lives based off of the influence of what most of their ancestral connections for their
Yeah.
bloodline are
Mm-hmm.
wanting, certain cravings,
Mm-hmm.
certain things that these spirit forces or these personalities that exist within your bloodline are
Mm-hmm.
literally hijacking your body, and they're
Exactly.
utilizing your body as an instrument in order for them to fulfill the things that they did in their past life.
Exactly. That's
these
true. That's
these
true.
beings are no longer here no more,
Mm-hmm.
but they're influencing your so on you got to think of a multitude of what we're dealing with, on top of
Mm-hmm.
the addiction to sugar, on top of the mass consumption of food, on top
Mm-hmm.
of our inability to connect and integrate with nature and understand
Mm-hmm.
natural nature, on top of the multitude of things and the integration with the earth and stepping on the earth, on top of all these things that we are not doing, we have
Mm-hmm.
to also deal with our internal family. And that's
Exactly.
the thing that
Exactly.
people have to understand about the internal family, and how people are literally out of their minds. People,
Mm-hmm.
think about it. And this is just for anyone that maybe hear this and they're like resonating with what I'm saying in this moment in time. How many times, or when's the last time you can remember, just or a time that you can remember of you doing something that you don't necessarily, it didn't like feel like it was you, it felt like you were like it was someone else controlling your body, or
Like
someone
possessed.
was possessing you to, what I'm saying, crave something,
Mm-hmm.
something. This is oftentimes what it is when people are having too much sex. This is oftentimes what it is when people are
Mm-hmm.
eating toxic foods. This is what's happening when people are smoking cigarettes. Is you are
Yeah.
literally not there. The person that you are, as far as who's supposed to be controlling and running the ship, the captain, the seaman,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
no pun intended, the seaman, right? You back behind, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
and you watching through the eye,
Mm-hmm.
and you just there. You imagine you just there watching what's happening, but you're not in control. The spirit forces of your internal family is in control, and that can be linked back through four generations,
Yep.
the
Mm-hmm.
way I know a lot of people be like, "Oh, that's pseudo." No, it's not. You want to know
Mm-hmm.
why it's not pseudo? Is because when you I always use this story because I know a friend who actually did this, right? And I have gone through it myself. When you drink too much
Yeah.
alcohol poisoning, they're gonna take you to the doctors. The
Mm-hmm.
doctor's gonna pump all the alcohol out your system because you are too
Mm-hmm.
intoxicated. Once they pump all the alcohol out your system, the doctor's gonna ask you something when you're awake and coherent. They're gonna ask you something. They're gonna be like this: "Hey, all right, sir. We got you here. Da 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 da." They're writing on with a piece of pen and paper. They're writing you down, looking at your schematics, looking at your blood and everything like that. They say, "All right, sir. Is there a history of alcoholism in your family?"
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they ask you if there's a history of alcoholism in your family is because that characteristic, that trait can be passed down through your bloodline.
Yeah.
It can be passed down through your genetics. You feel what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? and that's
Hmm.
the link right there. If we can
Yeah.
prove that alcoholism can be, which is a behavioral pattern, a
Hmm.
behavioral, if that can be passed down through genetics, that right there opens up the gateway and the door for conversation of things that you and me both know and we talking about right now that are going to lead for them to break through the
So,
barrier to understand, yo, listen, it's not just, what I'm saying, alcoholism that can be passed down, it's whole personalities.
yeah, it's in the blood. It's in the blood. You know what I'm saying? We can all be what they call fantasize or glorify all of our lineage, but
Yeah.
please remember Willie the Wano's in that lineage too. You know what I'm saying? Or all these individuals. The degenerate spirits, they're there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's another thing. It's just so important to be on the top, controlling the captain of your ship by the discipline, like you're saying, by things like fasting, eating right. It all adds up to you literally just being the best person you can be. The
Yeah.
best representative of this avatar. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
man, man. So, it's a trip to me, man. I'm gonna tell you, it's another trip, man. Like, all these and now go on to social media. I'm seeing all this stuff. Everybody talk about the Anunnaki, all these stuff, and all these people. I'm seeing these old pictures, holy tablets and stuff, and I'm like, I'm proud because I know, my master teacher did that. They're talking about the Anunnaki and all this stuff. Could you just briefly, and kind of, I know we talking about fast and stuff like, could you kind of talk about the difference between like the Anunnaki and the Natharu?
Okay, well, as far as that goes, I do have something on that. That's a topic for a different discussion. I feel like if we go there, what I'm saying, it's definitely gonna take it in. But there is a lot because the thing about it is, especially within the fields of what we say, it's crazy because when
Hmm.
I first got in here, I only know about the Anunnaki.
Yeah,
I heard about it when the master teacher was talking about it. I'm saying, way back when I said I learned about that video.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but then after that, I never even furthered my research with what Dr. Malachi Z. York was saying. So I heard the Anunnaki from other, people that were talking
Hmm.
about it, Zachariah Station, or you even
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
it
yeah.
nowadays through
That's where I first heard it from.
right, Zachariah Station. You have another
Hmm.
dude that's talking about it now in the present time. What's his name? Forbidden Knowledge.
Oh, Billy Carson. Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Carson. He talking about
Hmm.
the so so you get these different, and then even when you get into Wu-Nuwapu Sabians, you got this diverse. Even within the name, they're like, nah, I'm a Nuwapi, nah, I'm a Sabian, and then you got like this diversity between being saying, no, we are the Anunnaki, and then you got this side saying, no, we the Natharu. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then
Hmm.
what I'm saying, there's this like big standoff right now. I feel like that's
Yeah.
happening with what I'm saying, that the what's happening. I would love to break that down. I think that because this is not going to be the first time, definitely we're going to do another one, and I do have some information prepared, what I'm saying, for us to talk about this stuff, because having a distinct difference and knowing the differences between the two, and even seeing
Hmm.
other people's perspective inside about it, we can come to a acknowledgement about this stuff. And also, just to say too, and I don't know, I would say, I say that a lot of these I would say Eurocentric, what I'm saying, teachers, stuff like that, they
Yeah.
need information from us, man. What I'm saying, like, that's just what it is. Like, when I hear Zachariah Stitchen, and it's not no hate on Zachariah Stitchen, but I think it needs to be talked about how a lot of these beings they're reading the holy tabs, they're reading these books, what I'm saying, that have been put
Oh yeah,
out,
yeah, 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 yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying, to
yeah,
get this
yeah, yeah,
information. And I hear a
yeah.
lot of brothers be bashing on each other, being like, oh, what I'm saying, this brother that looks like us was speaking our information, da 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 da. Okay, yeah, I get that. If we can bang on each other, but what about this brother? What I'm saying? That's not even a brother.
Hmm.
He's, what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah,
about
yeah.
that guy
Nobody
thing?
said nothing about that. Yeah.
What I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
funny, man. It's funny how I see that, and it's like, what is it? What Master say? He said, learn one, teach one. You know what I'm saying? And then you
Hmm.
get to each one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Each
teach.
one teach one. Yeah.
Yeah, so each one teach one. So it's like we have to get into a mindset, what I'm saying, where we're where everyone has learned, what I'm saying? We're all learning in this life. I ain't a single
Hmm.
person on the faces of the earth that I could say that could even say out their own mouth, like, I didn't learn anything. And I know even the master teacher learned, what I'm saying, from some sources that he got outside of the information they came to bring. So, it's very important for us to understand that. And I would like to touch on that on a later basis, if you
All
don't
right.
mind.
Yeah. We can. No, and I think we should because we can still that's more so. I think more so for the people that might get confused because we keep on bringing the terms up. But that is cool. We should go into more in depth. And actually, like we talked about before, we can actually do, if you want, you can do a presentation on it. You know what I'm saying? Give it
Yeah,
more,
definitely.
yeah, yeah, more information. But Going back to what we were saying earlier, it's so important to fast in this time frame. And what information? Because somebody asked earlier. Let me see if I can see. Somebody is asking about the prayers and stuff. Where can anybody that's trying to do this fast? Where can they get the information to do the fast from?
Oh yeah, so basically you can get I have on my page some of the information. You can also inbox me if you need to. But the information there's several different people of the Nuwapian and Sabian descent that are giving out this information that we have,
Hmm.
and there's actually a little flyer that I did make that goes over the brief. But as far as like we have chants that we say too,
Hmm.
I want to also say too, this stuff that we are practicing for the ritual that we were performing, it is not mandatory for everybody to do this. This is just for those that are resonating with it and want to continue to, saying follow by ritualistic practice. You know what I'm saying? As far as how it's supposed to be performed, you can edit it if you need to, based off your circumstances in your life. Everyone is at on their own journey at a different space and a different time. You feel what I'm saying? In the sense of like where we're at. You feel what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
if you need to edit it or if you need to, what I'm saying, modify, go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? But I would say, yeah, I have the prayer of intention, which prayer of intention is something that you will need, what I'm saying, to utilize and amongst the fast as well. And I also have the actual chants that we say, what I'm saying, 3 times a day. So
Yeah.
these are things that we practice. That goes back to the language and getting to that. And actually I wanted to talk about that real quick because
Go ahead. Go ahead.
the language is important and a multitude of reasons. I hear a lot of people, especially from this generation, my generation, they would say it doesn't matter about the language. A lot of people are saying the language does not matter. It's your intent behind what you're saying. That's what a lot of the argument is today when it comes to learning a new language or even
Hmm.
adopting and understanding that we have original language.
Hmm.
Now, the reason why I don't agree with that is because that's not the truth. Your intentions behind what you're saying does affect the energy of what you're saying. Like if I say, "Ooh, I love myself," okay, and my intentions behind me saying I love myself, yeah, that makes it feels good. It's great. But this is the key that we have to understand: is that sound holds resonant frequency and vibration. You feel me?
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
vibration can be seen physically through the study of cymatics.
Yeah.
Cymatics is showing the pattern in which sound creates. And when we see the pattern that sound creates, we can see that the sound formulates dimensions. Let me grab this book. I should have had it on hand, but it's right here. I'm gonna show you, brother Zamal, because this is something that we need to understand and see. Because sound, oh, is very real. And for people that say it's just the intention behind what you're saying, well, if it was just the intention behind what we're saying, then I should be able to say something in any language, and my intention should be able to control the shape on which the sound creates. I'm gonna say that again. If my intention is all that matters, then I should be able to say the same thing in another language, and it should have the same shape. But we know that if you say something in a different language, the shape is different to a certain extent.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And that goes to show for us to understand. And this is something that a book that I have, y'all should get it. It's called Hidden Messages in the Waters. You know what I'm saying? Hidden Messages in the Water. You guys should get this book because this book has a lot of high power information. And it's by Masaru Emoto. And it's a Mongoloid Chinese, I wouldn't even say philosopher, but I would say more scientist who is talking more about, the hidden messages in the waters. And I'll even go to show you some of the hidden messages in the water so you can get a gist of what I'm talking about when we're talking about cymatics. Now, using water crystals is not the only way that you can see sound. You can also see sound vibration by, holding a speaker, holding putting some sand. Can you see that? Is that clear? Okay,
Hmm.
yep.
Yep.
So and then here you go for the Instagram. Um So you holding a speaker, but it basically utilizing a speaker and putting a black sheet of paper over the speaker, and then putting some white powder like some salt, like grains of salt, or you can use grains of sugar. Now, what happens is when you play a sound underneath this on top of the speaker, what's happening is the granules of salt is going to formulate and shape a sound. These sounds are going to create geometric shapes and geometric
Mhm.
patterns. You feel what
Mhm.
I'm saying? They create dimensions.
Mhm.
So you can literally speak words that shape and create dimensions, and it can
Mhm.
also travel through dimensions if you're speaking a powerful language. And that's why Nuwapic language or Sabaic language is so powerful. And I'm actually gonna, and it's funny that I haven't seen anybody, showing the cymatics of what our language looks like underneath the scope, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually got some scientific work that I'm going to be doing to show for people what our language looks like underneath the scope. You know what I'm saying? So that we can see what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? When we say shook, you know what I'm saying, in
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
language. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So that people can see the power. Now, the point that I'm making that I want to get to is that you can say I want to manifest this, or I want this in my reality, and you could say your affirmations and you could say it in English. It will take a lot longer for your what you want to come into your life because of the simple fact that you're speaking the English language. You got to understand that different languages are at different octaves on different vibrational frequencies. The our language is a higher frequency, it resonates more on an 8 octave, you know what I'm saying, a higher octave, and that tonal octave actually speeds up the vibration and based off the dimension and the shape, you know what I'm saying, to be able to bring into our reality what we want to, manifest, or what we want to bring into reality. But a key to manifestation, and my brother's going to be talking about this on one of the next builds. One of my brothers, Sahar, is going to be talking about the law of attraction. One thing we have to understand is that the manifestation of bringing things in is you still have to move your body. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people think they can just sit down and yoga move and yeah, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mhm.
fine. But moving your body and making sure your energy is up is part of you bringing things into your reality, because this reality is, you know what I'm saying, it's a mirror. You feel what I'm saying? It's really what it is. It's a mirror of your mind. It's a mirror and a reflection of you. You feel what I'm saying? That's why they have in their on one of the Hermetic principles, all is mental. They talk about mentalism. You feel what I'm saying? Mental,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
No, even no, if I'm not mistaken, they said Pata, the opener, he used his voice to create. So he wasn't
Exactly.
speaking English. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, just in saying that, imagine what type of they said the utterance of the tone, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so speaking has that type of power behind it to manifest, especially
Yeah.
if you're doing like you said on. Yeah, that makes perfect sense now.
Yeah.
And you got facts to back that up, scientific and our historical facts.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's just like this is just a little breadcrumb, because there's so much to this that, and that's why I love PowerPoints. There's so much to this that we have to. This is where we start to step into. We get out of the spookism. We get out of the pseudo, because
Yeah.
we don't do pseudo. We don't do
Mm-mm.
spookism. We do right knowledge, right reasoning, right understanding, right understanding. We have actual facts. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's true.
Downright reasoning. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we stand on. So we gotta make sure that now we're scientists, y'all. Let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
we have that
Mm-hmm.
ability. We need to be tapping
Yeah.
into our bag. We're scientists, we're
Yep.
chemists, we're all of that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to be utilizing our mind and not just look to archaeological Europeans to go and discover. Say, no, you become the archaeologist. You become
Yeah.
the biochemist. No, you become, what I'm saying, the technician. You create something.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. And that's another reason why I do like Billy Carson, because he travels so much and he shows when he's traveling. Because I like to travel as well. But I'm telling you, once you see these places that you see on TV for yourself,
Mhm.
that's when you can. It's a huge difference in between just reading a book. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to you've experiencing it, you touching it, you looking at this big ass pyramid, this mountain. You're like, how in the hell did these people do this? You know what I'm saying? And then and not only that, you look at it, then we go around a corner, and it's a reflection of you sitting right next there to it. Then you say, how in the hell did I do it? You know what I'm saying? And how the hell did we do it? It's not you know what I'm saying? It's not as far fetched anymore because
Mhm.
it's right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? But that's what our ancestors, like I said, Bobby Hemmett earlier, that's what they did for us. You know what I'm saying? You know, they set this up so we wouldn't completely forget. And we've had these different great master teachers that has always kept us on point to keep us on keep us in line for this day and time. I say this all the time, and it's just jokingly kind of, but being serious, it's like when I look at some of the stuff Doc wrote, and like especially the Leviathan book, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, was he a time traveler? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the stuff, the information that I saw that's like coming today, all this stuff I'm telling you. I don't know if you read the Leviathan 666. I'm kind of talking about the older books,
Leviathan.
but
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, yeah.
Leviathan, yeah, that stuff he was talking about, everything. The I mean, the chips in the skin, the vaccination. Man, I'm just like, yo, man.
Happened, even Donald Trump. Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was reading this back in the 90s, and I'm like, what is this? Even things about like risk. You know what I'm saying? A start constellation with three suns. Now NASA say, oh, the start constellation with three suns. And I just always remember Baba say, y'all think I'm crazy, but one day y'all gonna see. But hey, so
Yeah. Yeah, nah, that's exactly what he said. And and it's like there's certain beings do come back, what I'm saying, for this. That's why we was talking about the 24 elders,
yeah,
and beings that came to be able to, come back and give information and what they have. But what we have to understand is that it's the activation, what I'm saying, really takes down within yourself. Everyone has something to give and something to bring in this day and time. And that's why I
hmm
encourage everyone to grab a hold of culture, not the European culture, not the Chinese culture, not
hmm
the, what I'm saying,
your culture, our culture.
yeah, our culture, what I'm saying, grab a hold of
hmm
something that is going to reflect and identify you to yourself. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? A lot of people are dealing with an identity crisis and they have no idea who they are. You have an
Yeah,
identity, you literally have an ID in your pocket that does not identify who you are.
at
You know,
all. Yeah,
like there is a lot going on here that we need to understand, like yo, and I know it's like outside of the scope of people's current. So I know that a lot of people, what I'm saying, may be like, well, what is that relevant to me right now? I mean,
yeah,
I'm just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
and a lot of people don't have that mind to kind of look beyond
hmm
the scope of where they're at to be able to see where they're going. I'm saying?
I, yeah, it's very interesting to me because I think that the ones that are connected and get it, those are the ones that when you even talk about certain things, like the brother was saying earlier about, Seth was saying earlier about by getting your own land, growing food, and etc., and getting back to nature. That's all we've been talking about pretty much the whole time. Getting back
Man,
to nature, getting your body back to a position in which it can really connect and be utilized as a tool for nature. You know what I'm saying? That's literally like what we've been talking about, in a sense, the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And just clearing that out so you can get in tune because I'm telling y'all, man, I'm gonna keep on having other. I'm gonna telling y'all, I'm gonna keep on get deeper down the line. The more things add up, y'all gonna see simplicity is simplicity and sustainability is the only way that you're going to survive this upcoming cycle. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? Because best believe if calamities do come, these jokers got tunnels down there. You know what I'm saying? They got luxury hotels and underneath the ground, all this kind of stuff. And you got to know where to go, and you got to be in tune to know where to go. This has been happening. These are cycles that's been happening, through time in which, the people that are in tune that know, they know they got to go. I remember the master teacher said we had to go underneath waterfalls when certain calamities happen inside the earth. You know what I'm saying? So this is a reality. You can stay in the matrix and get gobbled up. You know what I'm saying? Or you can, go to Zion, just like the movie Inside Earth, go to Zion, and make it happen, and live your life because change is coming.
Food for the gods, man. And that's what I'm saying.
hmm
Like it's really about that time. And we're gonna have certain beings that will get picked up for the shift, right? The shift.
Yeah, yeah.
And
hmm
they'll make the shift. And then there's gonna see the thing about it is you got beings that are gonna be designated to be the caretakers of, what I'm saying, Taha, Earth
hmm
here
hmm
on planet Taha. There will be beings that will stay back, and then there will be beings that will be go on, and what I'm saying, the mission is fulfilled. So we have to, understand what our purpose is. And for certain beings, the beings that are going to be here, that are going to be staying here, you definitely want to know the ins and outs. I recommend everyone get a compass and a map, and y'all better start knowing how to use a compass and a map.
Yeah.
And so
hmm
your right from your left, because you're gonna
That's the truth, man.
and another thing I'll say too is yes, we are indigenous to, North America. This is our area that we were at. You know what I'm saying? We indigenously were here. You know what I'm saying? We have remnants here. We have archaeological structures and artifacts to, present and even be able to depict that, melanated people and the Nagato people were here. We did inhabit this land. But one thing I will say is that one of the most important things that will be important for us when it time to come is that I recommend that people be in an area where you can drop a watermelon seed, and then within a couple, days
Hmm.
or
That
months,
time frame.
yeah, it's gonna grow, man. Like winter
Hmm.
season, a lot of people haven't really experienced the winter season. And the reason I say this is this: some people think they've experienced a winter season, but you've only experienced a winter season in the comfort and the luxury of what you have
Hmm.
being provided to you. If you
Exactly.
do not have the luxury of the power that
Hmm.
home, if you do not
Hmm.
have the luxury of the oil that you use to heat your home, or the
Hmm.
grocery store that's down the street that provides you
Yeah.
all the resources that are getting imported and exported, if you did not
Hmm.
have these luxuries, then what would a winter season look like to you?
Exactly.
What would you be eating? Better yet,
Hmm. Yeah.
and this is why you see a lot of the native tribes that did live in the northern hemisphere. They migrated. Why did they
Yep.
migrate? They migrated because in certain seasons there are certain things that were going on. Not all of them were wanting to, or not all of them weathered the storm. Some of them
Yeah.
had down to tropical or subtropical areas in
Exactly.
order for them to sustain themselves, because it's
Hmm.
not ethical for you to try to sustain yourself in the midst of a harsh cold winter. That's just
Exactly.
not what our people does. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not to mention that when you are in the cold, the cold can actually shut down melanin production. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
In the body.
Hmm.
We know how important that is for our, for our thrival. So it's just when we're under certain conditions, it's going to change the biological and the biochemistry of your being, and that's going to be passed on through the genetics of your
Yeah.
children and your lineage. So you don't want to shut certain genes off. Actually, the
Yeah.
sun activating genetic codes inside of you.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all everything you're saying is such a good point because y'all people you have to realize that this grid, this luxury, like you were saying, in which we're so accustomed to, you know what I'm saying? We are literally one calamity, or a natural disaster, or one really major solar flare, or you can do it. What do they call what do they call EMPs? The ones that take out, yeah, EMP. You understand how fragile this fake reality is. You know what I'm saying? And how fragile it is, and also how quick, like we were saying earlier, you know, imagine if something goes down, all these people that have this prescription that medicating off of, I don't know, all these crazy pills that people have taken. I don't know the name of them, but
Zola, yeah,
yeah, Krolov, Zoloft, Molov. I don't know the name of them, but like even something as simple as you said earlier, alcohol, tobacco, weed. These people are, self-medicating. A lot of people self-medicating on all these things all the time. What happens if you don't have that for, 10 days?
mm.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying it's like you have to be real about the day and time we're in. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And don't believe that, the people running the show is the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? Because they
Deeper than deeper.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And truth be told is, and this is something you can research yourself. Yeah, they had some help with some extraterrestrials. They to build them up. Them jokers gone, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the same type of pull that they had when they had time to run all this. That's why they're doing all this crazy stuff now to try to to shut people's blood down, to shut them down. To what I'm saying? It's because this is it's the final countdown. It's the last round. It's the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? And they're done.
And you see what like I like what you were talking about with even in the Leviathan book where they were talking about the chip. You can even see right now
Yeah.
what's his guy's name is I forgot his name, the guy about did Tesla. What's his name? The Tesla dude.
Oh,
Uh,
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Yeah. So Elon Musk is creating something called Neuralink. You know,
Yeah, I've seen it.
and Neuralink was basically going to put a chip inside of your brain to be
Inside
able
of
to
your brain.
connect with. It's an interface that's going to be able to connect with, what I'm saying, like technology. So like your
Hmm.
computer with your phone, it's an
Hmm.
interface. So it's going to be able to upload, download. You could literally like I would just be sitting here just like this, and I'd be able to surf the web just by the chip in my head. I don't even have to touch the computer. You know what I'm saying? So they're working on certain kinds of technology the dangers of that is now that they have mapped the, you know what I'm saying, the human anatomy, and they know where certain, points are in your brain, on your brain, they're able to tap in. And now what they can really do is some MK Ultra turn you into a robot.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Hmm.
that's what's really happening right now. We're living in a time and age right
Yeah.
now where they have
Cyborg.
the cyborgs, right? Technology. This
Hmm.
is where it's coming. This is exactly what you said. It's cyborgs, and
Hmm.
they don't have to build an army. They already have an army. Half the
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, are already programmed from society. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Exactly. Yeah. 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 That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's a it's a again, it's an if you know what you're looking at, it's a beautiful time to be here because this is the transition. It is the shift. But boy, oh boy, they're gonna go out. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go out fighting, man. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna.
You say they grew up fighting, man. Come on, now.
Yeah, they're gonna go out, man. They're gonna come out with it. They're gonna go out with the craziest stuff that you can ever imagine. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing it every day. But hey, if you're in tune, if you know what's going on, you know what I'm saying. It's interesting to me because we're talking about I like to talk. I talk to a lot of religious people around me, and I like to use the term Christ consciousness. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Um, and to me, it's always interesting when I talk to different, especially Christians, and I'm kind of like bringing to the present, like Jesus already said that Jesus said in the books that you could do better than he can. That's his pretty much his goal, right? You know, so it's interesting to me to think of this man that's loved by the world, but you have the potential of having millions or even billions of people just like him on this planet. You know what I'm
And
saying?
you know what that's symbolic of?
Mm,
Man, that's fun. That's symbolic to what you remember we were talking about earlier on the back end.
mm,
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing where any being that comes forth with any kind of information that does
yeah,
great,
yeah, yeah.
that's and most of them have that actually, if I think about it, even the Christian a lot of these beings, they said similar things. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
It's because these beings reach a certain level to
yeah,
with themselves to be able to reach that level. And now they're like, hey, listen, the great works I do, you know what I'm saying? I'm just doing this, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know what I'm saying? Whoever comes with any information, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
There's going to be beings, you know what I'm saying, that are going to do greater, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
A lot of beings have said this. So we have to get into a mind state. And this is where we get out of worshipism, because we don't worship,
Mhm,
where we're
mhm,
not in a war or have a ship to be in war
mhm,
with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mhm.
we're not doing that. We're getting out of the age of we're looking for other deities outside of understanding that we are deities. We are deities. We're looking in the
Yeah.
looking in the sky, in the clouds of the sky for a God. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
You are a God. You know what I'm saying? Look at the
mhm,
sky. You feel what I'm saying? So
mhm.
we're now coming in. Even a lot of the younger generations ain't even participating with church nowadays,
Yeah,
because
yeah, 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 yeah,
you know what I'm saying? There is a wake up, a shift that's happening
yeah,
right here on the planet, where people are now self identifying with self to be
yeah,
able to recognize the deity within. And this is not coming from, like, a lot of these people ain't coming from no book or nothing like that. It may not be articulated the
yeah.
best,
It's in
maybe,
them.
you know what I'm saying? But it's in them. That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
in them. It's
yeah.
not like a stutter step in, like, oh, I think I'm, no, 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 no.
No,
These
no,
people,
no. Yeah.
I'm God. I don't know
A lot of
how.
yeah. A lot of the younger generation, Pastor Pork Chop and Deacon Do Wrong, they can't answer their questions, and they, you know what I'm saying, they'll fumble over all this stuff. Oh well, no, that don't make no sense. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? No, it doesn't make sense. If you can't give me no answers, I'm out. I need to find this stuff.
Yeah.
That's what these new beings, these new souls that are coming today. These younger generations, like they off the rip. They're like, nah. You know what I'm saying? And I
Into the bush. You know what I'm
you
saying?
know
Like,
what I'm saying? I ain't studying none of that. I don't believe nothing you saying. What I'm saying? It's but that's
and that's funny,
that's
man. Oh
mm-hmm.
yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's funny because in school, that's exactly how I was. They were trying to teach
Yeah.
me certain things in school. They were trying to literally force feed me this information about Christopher Columbus did this, and you know what I'm saying, da 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 da, and all this
Mm-hmm.
information that I really,
Lies.
lies of information. And I literally, they used to say, like, they used to think that I had some type of dyslexia, or I was just not, you know what I'm saying, capable of understanding. But really, when it came to like me doing tests, I could ace a test. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might not turn my homework in, but I was not trying to participate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
I
Me
was
too.
not, you know what I'm saying? That's what it came down to. So they were
Hmm.
trying to, that, and I stuck my nose up, and I was like, I don't see me in none of this, and it don't resonate with me. And that's what these
Yeah,
young
yeah.
people.
I used to be that. I used to be that joker too, man. I still remember, like I write my book. It was a fifth grade when they started talking about the slave trade. And I was just like, I put my hand up. I said, "Wait, and one of white slaves?" You know, what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand this story. How did this happen? You know what I'm saying? So
Man,
yeah, man, it's a trip, but the veil has been lifted, and it's all starting to make sense. You know what I'm saying? It's all starting to
man.
make sense. You know what I'm saying? The universe. I remember watching I was watching one show, Sister Myra L. Yeah, some months ago. I think she was on Black Magic Show, and she was just saying like, kind of breaking it down. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but she was pretty much saying the worst of the worst of that we had to go through is gone. You know what I'm saying? All the murders, all us getting chopped, millions of black people getting chopped up in Africa by all that stuff. The worst of the worst is gone. And Bobby Hemmett would always talk about how um, the black people had to become what he said it had become the worst level that they
Mm.
could possibly be, what I'm saying, before they can turn that caterpillar to the butterfly. You know what I'm saying? They had to be that dormant state. You know what I'm saying? And that's a time frame in which we're in now. You know what I'm saying? Starting to become out of that cocoon and to become that butterfly, which was their original. All cycles, like we were talking about earlier, all cycles.
Yeah, it's like you. It's funny because I hear people often use the term "burn." You got to burn it out. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at it
Yeah.
on like you're saying on a generational scale, what I'm saying, of a
Hmm.
lineage of be our bloodlines. What I'm saying, of people just over the 6,000 years or 400 years, I guess you would say, in that
Yeah.
time frame.
400. Yeah.
We had to burn it out. You know what I'm saying? There's
Hmm.
things that we had
Hmm.
to burn out with us, and that's on a macro. But on a micro, there's a lot of
Hmm.
things that we have to burn out right now inside of
Yeah.
ourselves. We don't repeat the same patterns or even
Exactly.
pass it on to our kids. And that actually goes into the to the topic of fasting from distractions. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're living in an age and time right now where it's weapons of mass distractions. It's not weapons of mass destruction. You understand me?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Meaning they're utilizing propaganda. They're utilizing
Yeah.
social media. They're utilizing all. And Bobby said it in one of his books too. He was talking about computers and how don't use the computer. Don't let the computer use you.
Use
You have
you. Yeah.
we have to be in a mindset where we have to understand what we subscribing to. What are we feeding our subconscious mind to? Because
Hmm.
everything that we're receiving in this reality is getting stored in our mind, and we're taking that
Hmm.
information and we're processing that information, and that information is going to play out in some way. This is
Yeah.
why it's so important to shelter. When I say shelter, I don't mean shelter as in like in any type of. I'm saying shelter our communities. Shelter our people with us, who we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Hieroglyphs on the wall, language. We have to
Hmm.
literally indoctrinate ourselves back
Hmm.
into the culture the same way we got in this message, the same way we getting out. Meaning that the tactics that they used on us with how they programmed us through the media propaganda, they programmed us through, having people that aren't even, what I'm saying, our race of people just telling us who we are, what to be. We have to program ourselves with our information. We have to program ourselves with our images. Every time we see a black woman or a black or a goddess, what I'm saying, a gadad tat, looking like with a woman with a weave. She got a blonde weave on. She got the eyelashes on her eyes. She got the nails on her nails. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no naturality about a lot of our goddesses. And I'm not saying this to attack or hate because it's not. I'm just
Hmm.
look at the psychological effects of
Yeah.
where we are at. We are
Hmm.
literally putting weave, they're literally putting weave on their heads and then straightening it, or even just not, or straightening their hair to resemble a woman that got good hair, or even men
Hmm.
sometimes straightening their hair, getting
Hmm.
a perm and saying it's good hair. You understand me? Like we are
Hmm.
literally programmed into thinking that this is acceptable, and it is by the mass media versus
Yeah.
us wearing our traditional hair. Because when we have
Yeah.
our traditional hair, ooh, it's looked as that's dirty, that's
Yeah.
rugged,
That's ugly. Yeah. That's,
that's
that's
ugly.
rough.
What is that? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you ain't got that good skin. What's good skin? Is my skin not
Hmm.
good for you? Or are you
Hmm.
good skin means it has a lighter complexion? I'm
Yeah.
confused. Please tell me, because I'm over here looking and I'm not understanding. This is the kind of
Yeah.
warfare that
Yeah. Ass backwards. Well,
Man.
I remember Bob was always telling us back in the day. He was just like, I remember this one tape at one class. He was like, people say, "Oh, that man Malachi, he gonna brainwash." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to brainwash your brain for all that crap they put in it." You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. It's like we have to do a self exorcism.
Hmm.
We have to exercise that American Euro whatever that monster that they put inside us. It's got to get out of there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and it's no hate and it's no racism. What I'm saying is
Yeah, that's
love you.
everybody.
It's love you for you. That's all it is. People want to
Hmm.
say, "Oh, it's just a hairstyle. It's something I love to do. It's self-expression." You can't express yourself in a natural way. You have to go get some horsehair to put on your head
Hmm.
to express yourself. To say that you
Yeah,
listen, listen, listen. I'm not saying that certain things like this didn't happen. You know what I'm saying in our because there ain't nothing new under the sun. So I
yeah,
understand it.
yeah, yeah.
What I'm saying is, even if it was something that was done, there's probably a purpose or a
Yeah,
reason.
exactly. It was a reason.
Definitely wasn't something that was
Self
done.
hate.
Yeah, it wasn't done out of self hate, and it wasn't done
Yeah.
to something that was done because a lot of these people that wearing them weave, they ain't
Hmm.
connecting that to ancient Egypt. 90%
Nah.
of them ain't connected to ancient. Well, the ancient Egyptians, you would only use that in an argument to defend why you're doing what
Yeah,
you're doing.
yeah,
Try to,
yeah, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Use it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people
yeah.
they get in
They
that
be
mode,
tripping.
man. And that's why we have to do our due diligence. Even me, you, anybody that's watching
Hmm.
from here now and beyond. If y'all are listening, listen. Do some self-analysis in your reality with yourself first, of course. You don't point the finger at nobody first. You look at yourself. Do
Hmm.
some self-analysis and see how many things in your life that you're doing that aren't as natural as it could be or aren't in tune with your cultural background. And if you don't have a cultural background and you haven't figured that out yet, then that's something that you need to examine within yourself as well and be like, oh wow, I don't even really necessarily have an idea of who I am and where I
Hmm.
come from. And that's gonna
Hmm.
lead you on a journey where you're gonna go down a road and it's gonna lead you better, man. So I always advise people in this moment in time to fast. And when I say fast from the distractions, that's just a label and a title to get y'all involved and get y'all in. We shouldn't be fasting from nothing that's no good for us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's no good for us, we shouldn't just be involved in it at all. Food
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
situation because obviously we're doing that for certain ritualistic reasons, and we're utilizing the word fast for that. But what I'm saying is that the distractions we should mitigate and get rid of the distractions. It's not to say distractions won't come because guess what? There's always going to be something, or not always, but in this day and time, there are many distractions, and we have to do our
Hmm.
best to navigate through the multitude of distractions that are in our reality. Whether it be a good woman that's got a nice, you know what I'm saying, little thing, whether it be, you know what I'm saying, you getting caught up in the alcoholism and trying to drink, and you getting so turned up all the time. It's part of your lifestyle. If you know what I'm saying, you're eating the sweets and you're eating the sugar, and the sugar is literally
Yeah,
chemical hormone activating
yeah.
and now you
Hmm.
literally addicted because you're activating that dopamine, you're hitting it so many times, man. Like
Hmm.
there's so much things, you know what I'm saying, that we do that's distracting us from you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's and again, I'm gonna keep on reference, Doc, because I remember it's like that's what he said specifically. He's like, the biggest issue is that they don't want us to get focused. You know, they don't want us to get focused, and everything we're talking about, every aspect of what we're talking about is all about getting focused, not only as individuals, but also as a tribe or as a
Right.
nation, getting focused. You know what I'm saying? To hell with this world, but what's the important things? You know what I'm saying? And
Telling you.
that's being focused on and I tell people, younger people in my life, yo, yeah, Oof. But
Giving y'all a
you
visual, man.
know, yeah,
Distract.
y- but I tell people all the time, you have to really once you figure out what life is really about, what I mean? I'm not talking about like just I'm talking about why are you really here? You know, it's cool if you like money, you like all that kind of stuff. I think that I mean I like money. I want to be you know the richest person. That's fine with me. But at the same time, that's just a material aspect of me, a representation of me being a person that can generate money and power, knowing how to do it in this matrix. You know what I'm saying? Life, man. We here to learn. This is our school,
Mm-hmm.
not that fakeness that they put out there. That you know what I'm saying. They distract you and just say that. You know what I'm saying. You have to
Yeah.
go get a college degree. You have to go whatever system they have, set up and implemented for us. Man, in our culture, you had to study for 40 years just to become a priest.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So what? You have
Absolutely.
to, 40 years to become a priest. When were you going to the football game in that
Mm.
time frame? When were you, you know what I'm saying? When were you know what I'm saying? You were studying. You had culture, you had purpose, and you had to become take advantage of this time here, in this school called life. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's the thing about it is, what I'm saying, the school called life, we had to, take advantage of that, what I'm saying, and utilize that, what I'm saying. We so caught up, what I'm saying, with like even money. Money's a trap, what I'm saying. And I
Yeah,
will
yeah,
say this,
yeah.
money is good to utilize to get where you need to go. It's just a form of
Hmm.
currency. It's just a fuel,
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
That's it. That's all it is. It
Yeah,
ain't more than that. And we utilize it to get from point A to point B to
that's
get
it.
the
Yeah.
little
Hmm.
necessities. But
Hmm.
spending your whole life
Yeah.
to sell your soul, or however they say it, right? Because selling your soul is really just giving your attention and depleting your energy. And then that's
Hmm.
what they try to do. These systems are designed to burn you out. The
Yeah.
reason why they're designed to burn you out is because the prophecy that was stated, as far as there being a being that comes back to be the spark to activate other people to be able to step into the true power and the gods come back on earth, that
Hmm.
prophecy for certain beings is not very positive because it's not in
Yeah.
favor of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
did is they elaborately made the system, so you working 9 to 5, what I'm saying? What's that, 8 hours of your day? They're trying
Hmm.
to burn you out. If you have kids and you working 8 hours a day and then you come home and then you still got to work because you got kids, they are literally trying to burn you. They want to take
Hmm.
so you have no ambition or drive to do nothing. People get home,
Hmm.
they probably got, if you have kids and you work a job, you probably only got maybe a good 4 hours to yourself, if that, to where you can actually dedicate to some type of research or reading. And a lot of
Hmm.
people, and I'm not saying that's the totality of what you have to do, but I'm saying most people ain't even got that time. What I'm saying? To discover and identify with who you are, it does take some research. It does take
Hmm.
some discovering. It does take some exploration, even
Hmm.
if it's exploration in the mind and you explore online. You feel what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you will have to step out and look and search. You feel what I'm saying? Where they say, search and you shall find, knock and the door
Hmm.
shall open. You feel what I'm saying? So,
Man, and you so on point, man. Because I even think about when I was traveling. I was in Panama with Dr. Reese Latham, and I was when I was looking, I was out there with him, and I was first of all, I'm going back to your fasting thing, because that brother, every single year that he turns his birthday, he fasts that many days of his birthday. So when he was out there, his birthday come out, I think he's 76 or 74. One of them, he's in that range, 76 down to 74. And all he does is drink juice, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? But he's fasting he's going to end up fasting for 76 days. You know what I'm saying? And you know, being an elder and just being that smart, just seeing how in tune he was because of being connected in nature, is amazing. And it's a true testament how fasting helps, because he fasts all the time. But in addition to that, when I was over there, simply, I remember looking across the river and seeing a family over there, probably had a four-bedroom house, you know what I'm saying, right across the river. Man, you know how jealous I was of these people? You know what I'm saying? Envious that how much I would love to be living in that life, or actually really living in that life, more part of my life, as opposed to this life that they presented to us as being a reality. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Simplicity, man, sustainability,
and
organic food. You know what I'm saying?
and it's real, man. And you just gave me an analogy. I remember seeing this on Facebook like a while back, where it was like a little like video, and basically the video goes through a sequence of events. And the sequence of events, I'm gonna break it down real simple. It was like you had this European man who came through, and he said this. He saw a native, what looked to be an indigenous person that was living on the land. He was just eating his fruit, living on the land. They were both on the beach. The guy that was in the suit, what I'm saying, who was a European man, he came through. He said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm the indigenous man who was eating fruit on the land." You know what I'm saying, in his indigenous attire. I was like, "Oh, I'm just enjoying life, eating my fruit." He said, "Well, you could sell that fruit and make a profit for it, and then you could take that money that you made from selling the fruit, and you could do what I'm doing and set up a hotel, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
and then you could be making all kinds of money. And then the indigenous man looks at the European businessman. He says, "And then what?" And he
Mm,
said, "Well, and then you can take that money, you know what I'm saying? You can invest in another company, and then you can make money from this company. And then once you make money from that company, then you can, you know what I'm saying? Then you can have all the time to do whatever you want, and you can, go wherever you want, do whatever you can, vacation, and and be like, where would I vacation to? Like, you can go to the tropics, and you can live and
yeah,
let." And everything that was being through the sequence of events as the indigenous person was asking this, rich man, you know what I'm saying, bringing him through a series of events, what brought him all the way back to, okay, so what you're telling me is that I can go through all of that just to get all that money, just go through all that so that I can be what you're doing right now, which is you have all this money now, and now you have finally have time to yourself to take a vacation, which you decided to come to where I'm at right now, just to come here and sit on the beach to eat a piece of fruit when I'm
yeah,
eating fruit.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
yeah,
it's a whole event, you know what I'm saying? And it's like that simplicity as you're talking about, nature works. And once we understand natural nature, then we understand that nature uh, operates on the path of least resistance, because the
hmm,
path of least resistance is in harmony with the flow of life. Haya.
yeah,
Energy. You feel what
yeah.
I'm saying?
It's interesting because the good sister Sharice Nicole just chimed in. She said, "What I'm dealing with a trap is melanin dominant people not seeing us as a nation. I'm
Oh wow,
looked at
that's
as a
all right.
foreigner."
Shouts out to, I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No,
That's
no, you good.
that's out to Sharif, man. Absolutely.
She gave us both. She both gave both a shout out earlier. I don't know if you saw it,
No, I
but
didn't.
anyway, I'm looked at as a foreigner by some of the revolutionary folks because they are used to exploiters from the states. While I've been trained to be on with our people in our same ancient indigenous place in the world as a unit. Then they separate from each other, light skin mixed, and call themselves Creole, and they feel more superior than a Garifuna, from for example. And at the same time, and going back to what we were saying earlier, man, this is a prime example of what we were saying earlier. Just
Mm.
the mindset. You know what I'm saying, of this indoctrination, that time frame coming in. You know what I'm saying, and just completely messing everything up as far as getting back to an indigenous mindset. So because of certain mindset, that shouldn't even something went wrong for that to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Something was implanted, like about the Tutsis and the Hutus. You know what I'm saying? Somebody came in and the German came in and said, oh, you look a little different, than them, so y'all should fight each other. You know what I'm saying? It's again.
That's the whole thing. That's the, and it's the same thing. Look at this. The same thing that she was just talking about there. Shouts out
Uh,
Cerise. The same thing that she was just talking about right there with the Garifas, and then the people that come in that are
yeah.
just wanting to live a more natural lifestyle, that come from the states or come from other countries, and
Hmm.
that right there, that hate sense mentality is the same thing we experiencing here in America
Oh
when
yeah.
it comes to melanated Black people here in America,
Yep.
because they like,
Hmm.
you from? What state you claim hood? You from my, you know what I'm saying? You from my city, you from my county, you from my area. And if you ain't, guess what? And you gotta check in. You wanna know why you gotta
Hmm.
check in? Because we have so much self-hate. But wait a minute, do the cops gotta check in? No, the cops don't gotta check in.
Yeah,
The
they
cops
walk right by.
get down, lay down. They don't give a, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we that's why I say it's a self-hate mentality, because we are
Yeah.
doing it to each other.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
If
We're not
if
doing this to other races yet.
if you have culture, if you know who you are,
Mhm.
none of this is an issue. If
Yeah.
you know where you're coming from, if you know your culture, if you have your language, if you have your dress, if you have your dance, just like we're saying, if you have all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying, that comes inside of culture, then this none of that's a problem.
Right. And that's
You
why
know.
it's crazy. That's why a lot of like Oriental cultures, I
Mm,
would say, I'm not going to say like they're perfect in the sense of like, there's still a little bit of beef and tension between certain
yeah,
Orientals,
some of those, yeah.
but for the most part they are pretty much cool with each other because they understand the lineage and how their culture
Hmm.
has transformed over time, just different
Hmm.
eras, different
Yep.
backgrounds of different people.
Hmm.
Oh, you speak Mandarin. Oh yeah, I speak Mandarin. Oh, you speak, I'm saying this, I'm saying, like through their historical records of keeping. That's why it's so
Exactly.
important.
Exactly.
Others, I'm saying, that the records are going to keep you straight, set the record straight. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
And that's real. And
record.
look, and then they realize they all come from Africa and they come over and try to take over Africa. you know.
Hey man, it's really, that's why we have to move with shook love and unity for each
Yeah,
other.
man.
Get out of
That's
this.
it, man. It's true.
because the self-hate mentality we ain't getting
Mhm.
nowhere. We going nowhere fast. We on a
I
treadmill.
I talk about that in the book, my own book. You know what I'm saying? How just like the self hate, um, yeah, how the self hate, how it used to put me in a certain mindset in which I was thought I was worthless. You know what I'm saying? And until I got this information, this information in which I opened up a book, of a scroll at the time, and I saw Noah, or I saw Jesus, as someone that looked like me, or all these prominent people that look like me. Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, this system had me thinking I was the creature of the Black Lagoon, just like I talk in the book. You know what I'm saying? So it's Sharice said, "This worldwide mental colonization that manifests in different ways." Yeah, it does. It does. And so, and I'll be, the more you travel, you see how it does. It's like it's a different type for each region. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You can see it.
Man, and it's just counterproductive because if you look at the reason why Arabs are so successful in America, the reason why Jews are so successful in America is because they have one fundamental thing that they normally follow, which is they follow a principle of not attacking each other as much. Even if you look at the
Exactly.
world media, if they have something that's going on, and I look at us Nagaros, melanated people, I look at us like royal family. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Think about this. We ain't never really hear no fights about the Queen of England when she was alive, having fights with Prince Edward or anything like that. Like this just didn't happen. You didn't hear about it
Yeah, 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 yeah.
because they kept that stuff to the side. And I always have something that I like to go by. It says protect each other in public, correct each other behind the scenes.
Behind doors. Yep.
And I think that and that's why I say fasting from these distractions, because you
Yeah.
have all of these. Look at what's being promoted nowadays. You got the Breakfast Club, which is like one of
Yeah.
the Envy and Charlemagne the God. They out there promoting this. What do they do? What it's the rumor report. Rumor report.
Yeah. 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 Craziness.
They're out
Yeah.
there reporting these rumors, and all of it's about black people, and it's just to tear each and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
did you focus on what Kanye got going? Hey, did you see what's happening to Jamie Foxx? It's all, and I'm not saying everything they do is bad. I'm not attacking, but I am attacking. I am correcting, because
Yeah.
that's not what we need to be focused on right now.
Mm-hmm.
We should be promoting more positive things. You know what I'm saying? And we should be working on mental health. We should be working on understanding where we come from, what I'm saying, who we are, getting our minds right, making sure that we're, what I'm saying, much like what Sharice was just saying, with
Mm-hmm.
the understanding of, what mentally is going on with our people as far as the self-hate, because the self-hate is going, like, there's more of our people killing each other than there is,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, them cops killing us, what I'm saying, and that's just the truth. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because it's been promoted, and I'm not saying cops haven't done stuff,
Woo.
but we have to understand, man. She said Chinese and white
Look at that.
Ammonites are
Running the
unified.
game in the Belize.
I believe she
Look at
right.
that, man. Yo, you know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like that. No, time before last, I was Jamaica, right? We were going down to there was a town, and when we went to the town, we went to the city, right? And it's down in the city. There was a nice plush new apartment. I mean, office complex made, just freshly painted, right? And the driver, he was Jamaican. He told me, he said, a Jamaican person can never get in that office. Never. We in
Wow.
downtown Jamaica, like, what I'm saying, and I can't, God, I can't. I'm losing my
Port
I
Royal,
can't.
was it Port Royal?
No, say a couple other ones.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Portland,
no, no, damn,
not
I can't, I
Kingston.
can't. What? It's like one of the It's like 2 hours from Kingston. It's like one of the
Okay,
Montego Bay. That's it,
okay,
Montego
yeah.
Bay. So we're downtown Montego Bay, right where they have that statue of the slave guy that got killed, the
Mhm.
slave revolt guy that got killed. That same area. And yeah, he said that person could never ever rent a Jamaican could never rent that. It would have to be an Asian, it had to be an Arab, a Chinese, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, yo, because guess what? Every time I went in there, to one of those shops to get like the Bob Marley stuff or whatever, some reggae stuff, it was very rare that I saw when I was selling it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what
Very
we have
rare.
to understand. That's see, this is the spell. This is
Yeah,
the
the
spell that
spell.
we see. The spell is we don't, it's right in front of our eyes. a lot of if people want to like make this whole conspiracy about the truth being this and that, nah, everything you need to see is right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is.
Yeah,
That's where to hide things is put it right in front of you.
in front
Because
of
if
you.
you
Yeah,
really know where to hide something, the more you try to conceal and hide something, someone's gonna figure that out. So the best way to do it
yeah.
is to put it in front of you, but then switch the names up, switch the locations up, switch the identities up. And that's where people start to, you know what I'm saying? So we're getting people selling our stuff back to us. We got Arabs selling incense and all these, like, you know what I'm saying, all these stuff for their Muslim rituals and stuff that they be doing, but really a lot of that stuff stems from our our practices, our spiritual practices, things that we perform, things that we did. You got a lot of Hindus
Hmm.
out there, performing and practicing certain Hindu practices. Some of that
Hmm.
stuff comes from us. You feel what I'm saying?
You
So
know, yeah, and you're right, man. And it's to me, I think it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting because I was watching. Oh, look at that. And before I say that, look, they don't respect the locals like the Koreans. And look at that. And that's what really pissed me off, man. You could tell it they don't respect them. You know what I'm saying? It's even like it's like and I'm in Virginia right now. Like the Arabs, they got all these like what are those people like those people that are top north like not the Moroccans, the Libyans, and all the light skinned ones. You know what I'm
oh,
saying?
about the
All those areas. They all you see walking in. They get their Allah symbol in Arabic and everything. They smoking cigarettes and got drinking wine and you know what I'm saying. I'm just and
I
then
know what
talking about salam alaikum.
you're
It's such hypocrites. But it is what it is.
Arabic. Yeah,
But
I think
the way that they look at the black folks when they come in, it's with such disdain. It's sickening. You know what I'm saying? The way they're just ready to just take advantage of these people. All the but it's so true. But I was
mm.
damn, I was gonna say something else, but I forgot. I lost my train of thought.
No,
But
that's facts, man. They definitely out here with that propaganda, man. That's so important. And even in look at it, even in that, right? You got
mhm.
Arabs, you know what I'm saying, on the land of certain African people, you know what I'm saying, claiming that this is their homeland and this is their story and
Oh
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's what they do, man.
yeah,
That's the whole mix up. That's why it's so important for us to tell our story and not let
mhm,
other people tell our story because if
yeah,
we tell our story, we'll be able to pull the facts that they don't want to pull. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm.
and some of that information is buried, you know what I'm saying, or it's in the Vatican, or they have it locked up because they do want to just they have certain things. But there is a lot of information that we can still utilize.
Hey,
Just tap in. It's already, and you see, the master teacher had brought it out.
how about it? How about that? See, that's the thing.
Yeah,
You can do all the stuff that you want to do, but as we know, every 25,000 years, nature qualifies a being to redo our history. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? To give us our history back again, so we can be in a position that we can start over. You know what I'm saying? And get this information and move forward. You know what I'm saying? So, unfortunately, we have Baba Yanun to do that for us. But man, whew, we're going on
everyone knows,
2 hours.
man, because I look at 2 hours. I understand, and I always want.
No, you're good.
I always love to give reverence too, because it's like and everyone that was a part of that, man, it's a whole force of beings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
came to
yeah, yeah. Exactly. It
help
wasn't
you.
just one. Yep, you're right.
Love it. I love it. That's why, like, whoever
Yep.
wrote that, what I'm saying, like right next to Bible with him, writing the books and stuff like that.
Mhm.
People that were building on the land, like unity is key, man. That's the
Yeah,
important
man.
was being brought to us. Is we have to have love and unity. And I shook. Feel me? That's
Man, now that's real talk, man. Inside of the tribe and inside of the family, that's so true because you just have so many people. It's a lot of it does have, like we said, been all night about deprogramming. You know what I mean? Just deprogramming and killing the nigga in you. You know what I'm saying? The nigget. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Slicing his throat, throwing it out. You know what I'm saying? Getting it out of you, and getting to it's good to talk about all this peace and love and all this kind of stuff. Nah, man. If you ain't really showing that stuff, you just lip service. That's you phony as anybody else of. And I see that all the time, man. And this old crazy what do you call it? What they call it, the conscious community and stuff like that. Man, this stuff is like a what do you call it? The stuff obviously compared to what I've seen in the past, it's like a cosplay. You know what I'm saying? Just dressing up and all that stuff. I was like, yo, where is the unity to really make something happen and move forward? Where is it?
Right. No, that's real. That's real. Now you're right, and that's what it comes down to. I'm laughing because I'll be like, we have to shout out Yee, you know what I'm saying, Yay, you know what I'm saying, with the lip service. I know she has a podcast, she's doing lip. I don't want to not, shout her out, you know what I'm saying. But no, that's funny. But no, I was saying, yeah, we have to, man. It's like the unity, and it really is gonna come. It's really gonna come. Angela, yeah. Oh,
She said
okay.
masqueration. I know, Sharice. I'm telling you. I know. Me and Sharice talk about this all the time. We be like, we it's like we got to get out of this. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go. Oh God, I don't want to be a part of this craziness, man. You know what I'm saying? Good
I'm
gracious.
telling you. Yeah, man. So unity is key, man, and that's why I say, bro. Like, I think the more that we start to have conversations like these, we
Yeah.
start, put the not put the egos to the side, because there's a whole debate about the ego. I'm not even gonna get into that. But anyway, I'm saying is, just what I'm saying, just be able to, like, what I'm saying, have a because I see so many brothers and sisters that, what I'm saying, we all got this, thing going on. We're powerful. We're doing things, but we have to come together to a point where it's like that mentality that we're talking about has actually traveled over into the conscious community, and
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
it's to a point where it's like, I gotta bang on you because you, even when it
Yeah.
comes to
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
saying like, oh, you teaching pops, I gotta bang on you because you teaching pops. But what about the white boys that over here, what I'm saying, doing the
Exactly. Exactly.
like
Exactly.
like we, at some point, we gotta hold pause and realize that we are doing this to ourselves. Like I said, the
Yeah.
program keeps running. The greatest, they say this is one thing. There's one thing I've learned. I know we gotta go. So let me leave the last thing. This is the thing. It's like, you can take a slave, what I'm saying, off of the plantation and give him a suit and a tie or whatever you want to call it, and quote unquote give him life. But
Hmm.
if you do not give that slave an understanding of himself, or
Hmm.
that slave does not have an understanding of himself in origin as
Hmm.
far as who he is and where he comes from,
Hmm.
that slave gonna be a slave no matter where he go. It don't matter if you take him off the plantation, because he's
Yeah.
still gonna be a slave in his mind. It's not, you can conquer a people, but if you don't conquer their mind, you haven't truly conquered a people, because you have to conquer their mentality.
That's why that's why like a well-educated cultural brother or sister is the last thing that they want to see. You know what I'm saying? It's like to me, when I saw Tamaray, I was just like, me personally, just from what I saw, even today, I've never seen anybody do anything what Baba did. Like as far as bring a culture, bring a language, have a land, everybody come teach. That like showed what we really did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
And it should
saying?
be inspiration for people. I think that's the biggest thing. That's a big problem, though.
Yeah.
Driven leaders. There are no MLK or Malcolm X's. We have to just learn from all the history and unify. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't
Yeah.
even like to use the word ego, because it's like, I personally understand. I know what you're saying, and she right. Like, I say,
Hmm.
like, you have to, ego is an aspect of the mind. That's how I explain it. The ego is the aspect of the mind, but it's not the totality of who you are. But you have other
Hmm.
people that say, oh, the ego gives you definition as far as giving you confidence of who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
No, I agree.
Yeah, so it's like, there's, but it's still an aspect. So you got to
Yeah.
know
Yeah. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
to use that. You know what I'm saying? And not have it
You
driven
know.
by ego. You know.
No. Yeah. And also, I think that it's very important that we discuss just because we had different time frames in which it was matriarchal societies, and patriarchal societies, especially European dominated patriarchal societies.
Yeah.
But what about when we looked at the female, you know, and as the goddess, and the ones that as a goddess, and the ones that were making the calls in, running the show pretty much. Let's just keep it real. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? With that mindset, you know what I'm saying? Because she's saying like there's no Malcolm, no Malcolm. Well, we need to see, the Sybil come back. We need to see the daughters of Isis, you know what I'm saying? The Eastern Stars, when these females, because I'm gonna tell you something, one thing I've learned on this planet, I don't care what y'all say. Women are smarter than men. I don't care what nobody says. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a case by case situation, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Say that there. Say that
Yeah,
there.
it's a case by case by case, yeah, of course. You know what
It's
I'm
a
saying? But
case
you
by
you
case.
understand where I'm coming from. When you get, that woman with the XX chromosome that can connect and can, god dang, get that spirit line with the universe, and get that download like that, you know what I'm saying? It ain't, I think that's a big thing. Once we really are able to put the clan mothers, you know what I'm saying, up top and really able to rule and guide, I kind of think it's a wrap and have the men, you know, protect, like they should do. You know what I'm saying? You work together. That's another aspect, but maybe that's a different conversation we might have too. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, bro, in the sense of like, yeah, I definitely think it's a conversation we have. And also just like, yeah, like there's matriarchal societies did exist and women,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, did are you know what I'm saying, as we know with the Gadatats, they had that power, you know what I'm saying, that
Yeah.
separate power to be able to, do certain things. Women do
Hmm.
develop, you know what I'm saying, faster than men. It's
Faster. Yeah.
proven on a
Hmm.
scientific level. Also, we
Yeah.
understand that, men die, you know what I'm saying, a lot faster and quicker than women,
Yeah.
expectancy's life for a woman and a man is different. So and there's more women on the planet than men. So there's a reality when it comes to certain conversations like that, which if you look at the male driven patriarchal society, you can see how even that comes from uh, definitely could stem from a sense of inferiority complex where there is a lack of, and I'm not talking about all men, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just,
Of course not. Yeah, of course not.
you know what I'm saying, on top of everything they got to deal with. So it's like, we have to understand that, yeah, this is a reality. Those kind of conversations do need to be had because we are
Yeah.
stepping into a time where a matriarchal society will
Hmm.
present itself.
Oh yeah,
And
it's coming.
how we respond as men, that's gonna be on us. But that does need to
Yeah.
be talked about. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's very important. Well, on that topic,
Yeah.
there's a lecture that Dr. Delbert Blair did. It's called and y'all listen, y'all can find it on YouTube. I think it's broken up. It's the man, woman, and child lecture. It's really all three of them, and he gives facts just like you talk about the female living longer and developing faster. He goes into great detail about the woman in the melanated woman's in particular. But I think that's a very I think a lot of people should listen to that. And also, like I said earlier, like listen to some of the our historical information, which beings like the Sybil, the sisterhoods like the Sybil, when they were at their peak and how much reverence they had and how much power they had. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, I don't mind advocating for my sisters because I know if you good, if you real brother, and you really know some good sisters in your life that what I'm saying? I know the potential of what that's in them. So,
And men need
um,
to get out the idea that it's a thing of like disempowering because
yeah, exactly, exactly,
you still gonna have your listen. There's still gonna be chiefs. You know what I'm saying?
exactly, exactly.
There's still gonna be. It's just a matriarchal council
Yeah,
of women
exactly.
that are overseeing the things that are the needs that are being taken a part of the community. If you think about it, what does a woman do in a household?
Yeah,
She is an
she runs
overseer
it.
to be
Yeah,
able to be like, hey, I need, you know what I'm saying, trash need to be taken out. You know what I'm saying? I need, and men don't be lying. Y'all ain't up on that. Y'all ain't up on that. You know what I'm saying? Women
yeah.
really be up there like on some like, yo, trash need to be done. This need to be done. What the fuck
That's
going on?
not fronting.
It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say men are pigs and slobs, but I'm just saying like we just
Yeah,
don't. There's a
it's
certain
a
level.
it's a different mindset. It's just we're just built differently. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I remember that there was an old book. What it said, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But and once the more you have interaction with females, you have a open mind and just realize you're like, God dang, you know what I'm saying? Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, this is a great build, man. I'm so happy that we got on it. Hey man, we're gonna have I don't know what your part two is gonna be, but I'm waiting for it because I know once you come in the presentation, you might crack the internet in half. So you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
We're gonna bring something, man. We're gonna bring something prepared. This is like, and I appreciate you, man. Like honestly, he came out with, he's like, man, he was dressing me too because I was like, man, I want to wait because I've been really waiting. We've been on this for like almost 2 months, no, a month now. So he been wanting me to come out here and speak and stuff. And I really just me being like that Virgo energy, I was like, I just want to get prepared. But I'm glad that he had me on, man, and really just for the first fast of the day, you know what I'm saying? First day of the fast, really getting out here, really getting that information out there for the people. I really appreciate your time, my brother, and anyone else that tuned in that was listening. Appreciate y'all's time too, because there's a lot of things that need to be learned and studied. We need to fast from these distractions. If you got, and this is just a disclaimer, last thing I'm gonna say, if you got a woman in your life that is distracting you from your journey and what you need to be doing, hey, listen, you need to either tell her, be like, hey, baby, you know what I'm saying, right now it's a little bit more of a distraction. Put that on the side or just deal with it however you can deal with it. If you got kids with it, I understand, but do what you can do fast from the distraction. There really shouldn't be much of until you have a complete understanding of who you are and you're really stepping in your godhood as far as being a deity on earth and in the thought, you have to have an understanding of who you are. You feel what I'm saying? And if you ain't got that kind of understanding at this moment in time, You need to fast from certain distractions because there are things that will try to take you off course. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say this: we'd also need to learn how to work within the distraction because that's another level of mastery as well. Learning how to be able to someone you're walking on water or you're walking on a tightrope and someone's pointing and laughing and saying you can't do that, but you tuning them out and you walk in the rope anyways because it don't matter what someone's pointing and laughing and trying to say at you because you always going to have someone that's going to be an observer and looking at you for whatever reason. You have to be able to stay focused, have laser vision. You know what I'm saying? That's why the scroll is called concentration. If anyone had, you know what I'm saying, y'all get that scroll, man. It's a scroll. It's called concentration. It's the Wu-Nuwapu school that master teacher made. It's a great school. There's other people out there that also talk about concentration and how to really be a master of something, you have to have full, complete, autonomous control over your mind and body and concentrate. Do not get caught up with these distractions because they will be your pitfall and they will lead you down a rabbit hole and you will be Alice in Wonderland, wandering in the forest of all kinds of crazy stuff that's happening, and you just won't have an
You
idea.
ain't gonna
So
get it. Yeah, you ain't gonna get it, man. You ain't gonna get it, man. Yep. Wow, man. Amazing podcast, man. Good brother. Yeah, I'm happy you came on as well. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, come on, man.
I
And I'm
appreciate
happy that you came, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for us. Like I said, if you haven't already, please go to polkadot.podcast.com, pick up the book, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. We got a jam-packed week. We got a whole bunch of other great beings coming on this show this week, man. I'm so excited. Of course, always, if you haven't, please support the channel. Cash App PDR Corp. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And shoot some brother support because I'm just gonna keep on building this thing until it tells me to stop. So I love this, just talking to good souls, male and females, brothers and sisters out here, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying?
it.
But that's it for me. You know what I'm saying? And how can they find you, good brother? Before we go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So this is my YouTube for people that are on Instagram, not on the YouTube. It's Nine Mind TV on YouTube. And for people that are on YouTube, my Instagram is Huu, which is HUU dot Khanum, which is KHANUM, is Huu Khanum. So those are my two platforms that I utilize on the daily. I do have a Facebook as well, but that like is just really long, and I don't feel like trying to explain, say that. So I'm just gonna let you know. Those are my two main, so that you guys can reach me on through there. And yeah, man, this has been a real blessing. You know what I'm saying? Great
Mhm.
information. Love it, love it.
Yeah, man. Keep on doing your thing. Keep on, just keep on teaching, man, and keep on teaching, and just keep on, you know, sharing this information for the people to wake our folks up. And, like I said, because, the reality is, and one thing I keep on saying, if people watch my podcast, it's like, and just like he kept on saying, nobody wins the race and racism. I'm telling y'all, man, if everybody on this planet collectively could have a positive conscious outlook and connect with nature to the best of the ability, we can make our own reality a beautiful thing, man. And that's what my master teacher taught me. You know what I'm saying? So and all my master teachers have taught me that it's all about universal love. So that's
Mm.
it on my end, and as we say, Oshuk in our language. So
So,
besides that, you know what I'm saying? We out of here.
hey, wadu, wadu.
Why do?
So,